You are now tuned into the Boxing Bros. I'm Kaden and I'm here with my co-host.
You know what it is. It's the commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill.
And this is G. What's going on?
It is Ukraine, BE. What up, world? Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. Let's go.
And guess who's back? Your boy Complex. What's good?
We miss you, Complex.
The
Why
Boxing
you
cousin in the building.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
Deontay
back.
Wilder's lawyer back on retainer.
Chris, we already know. Chris, we know. Chris, we know what it is.
We're going to talk about that, Chris.
You're beautiful. She's beautiful, bro.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah.
We got Jungle Jams in the building.
Hold on. Let me go on mute. 1 second.
No worries.
You good. You good. This is a family show.
We got Super Sardonic in the building. Melons JS. All right, what kind of melons we talking? All right, we got Robert Moon in the building.
In the building.
Robert Moon said boxing isn't dead, y'all. It's not dead. I don't know why people say that, man.
Nah, nobody said
boxing
that.
ain't dead. People don't get hit, man. That's
I
it.
feel like I died inside. You know what I'm saying?
Much respect, Chris. We respect you.
Oh, yeah, Chris Turner said been a fan for years now. Salute, Chris. We appreciate you.
Go.
Thank you for watching.
He's been fam. He's been fam. You've been fam for years, not a fan. You've been fam.
Nah, 100. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got Dom the God in the building. Salute. Dom be watching the videos. I'll be seeing Dom in the comment section regularly. Salute to you, fam.
Oh, yeah, that's Dom the God. That's the homie right there.
Yes, sir.
Much love, homie. What's the word, bro?
All right. He said that fight was more entertaining than he thought it would have been. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got JH Lethal E in the building.
In the building. What's going on, man?
He said, don't worry, I'm here. My man JH be talking mad trash. That's my dude, dog.
Who else is in here? That's right. Just
Salute,
yeah,
Boxing Bros.
My man Usyk
Boxing Bros Japan in the building. Salute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got Ireland in the building.
Oh, yes, sir.
Rick in the building. Oh, the homie Vamp. Vamp, what's the word, Vamp? Vamp's there. Got my popcorn out. Vamp, what's going on, Vamp? We was just talking about you, man. We was just talking about you. Vamp, that's the homie Vamp right there, Kaden.
Where's Vamp? I don't see.
It's up right there, VXMP. He's all the way up. He got his popcorn. He said he got his popcorn.
I'm like, what you looking at?
Oh, salute the Vamp, man. I heard the track, man. That joint was fire.
Buckingham Palace. You already know what it is. I ain't gonna say too
Oh, wait,
much.
that Vamp's the one on Buckingham
You
Palace?
already know what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh, he got Vamp. You gotta hear what was done to Buckingham Palace, Vamp. I'm telling you, Vamp.
From the US to the UK, you already know how we rock it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the UK anthem, Vamp, man. That hook is fire. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, Vamp is a Boxing Bros supporter, and he just did a track with Trill Dollar Bill and Phantom, and the track Vamp shouts out to TBE, and he shouts out Conspiracy G. You know what I'm saying? On the track.
So I already know that. So I already know the track is the hit.
You already know how we
I'm telling you right now, that track's about to be the UK anthem. Like, I'm telling you right now.
So when we gonna do the debut?
I ain't playing no games. I ain't playing no
We'll talk about that. But salute to you, Vamp, man. That hook was fire.
Hell yeah, I'm doing push-ups on you.
Thanks. The TV get blessed, ain't nothing less.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
Oh, yeah. Did we shout out Scotland? We got Scotland in the house.
Oh, Scotland in the building.
Shout out to Scotland. I was just watching Braveheart. I didn't get through the whole thing, but I was watching half of it.
We need to know if from Scotland, do you want to see that Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor too? That's what we want to know.
Shout out to all the bumblebees out there. You know what I'm saying?
Your leg don't look like a bumblebee. He looks like
Hey,
a
yo, this is Ukraine colors. Yo, don't
Nah,
disrespect
he look like
Ukraine.
Where's Waldo.
Yo, don't disrespect
Nah,
Ukraine.
yo, G, he look like a knockoff Freddy Krueger, dog.
Yo, JH. Hold on. I wanted to stand by my brothers.
Yo, Matthew.
Stand with my brothers.
That is the funniest thing I've heard. That is hilarious.
Don't disrespect me. I wanted to stand with my brothers, yo. It's Ukraine out here, baby.
Trinidad and Tobago in the building.
Oh, yo, you missed that. G, you got to put my man Matthew up there.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. He said, now I know what Miss Trill gets to see when Trill was doing the push-ups. That's hilarious.
That had me on the floor. That was hilarious. Good one.
Yeah, that's funny. Yo, salute to Robert Bailey in the building. Always showing love. Showing love to the boxing
that's one
bros.
of the boxing bros right there.
Yeah, he said Fury getting smoked by Usyk. I don't think he wins that fight, and I don't think Usyk will happen now, bros. We're going to talk about it. We're going to let you know what we think. We appreciate you showing love and sharing your thoughts. Salute to Robert Bailey in the building.
Yeah, got the Caribbean in the.
We got Trinidad Tobago in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Salute.
That's a TNT.
Yo, hold on. Watch your mouth.
Yo, Andre Ward, freshly.
Yo, I respect.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
Hey,
Let's not get crazy here. Let's not get crazy.
Andre
I
Ward,
respect
freshly
that
licked lips.
comment.
I don't like your
I
name.
stand on that
Okay.
comment.
I gotta say pause every time I say your name. But you on to something. I thought you might change your icon to Dwight Howard's freshly licked lips.
Hey, come on now. All right, y'all. Yo, this is TV locking up.
Oh, my man. Was it?
Yo, now these comments is getting crazy. Oh, Italy in the building.
Okay,
we got Italy in the building. Salute.
The homie
Hey,
Corey.
bro,
Corey just tapped in. Corey just tapped in. What's up, bro?
Oh, we got Corey in the building. Salute.
Good.
Matthew says sporting icons from England believes that Fury will retire after last night. He looked like he realized Father Time caught up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, salute to sporting icons because sporting icons puts on the boxing bro Rico. I saw Rico on there one day doing a live, so I had to tap in. Salute to the homie Rico as well.
Where's Rico at? I'm surprised Rico
Show
ain't
some love to sporting icon. Matthew said, greetings from Australia. I have an Italian passport too. We got everyone in the building. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah, Australia in the building.
Yes,
you ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get my passport too. They can't hold me down. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. We got Boston Bros
From Kenya.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kenya.
Kenya's in the building. All right. What did he say? He said, why do I feel AJ would feel the most hurt? Dude actually was defending his titles for that moment yesterday.
My man said, "Gappy teeth, Usyk gonna devour some Fury meat."
Yo, I know. Yo,
that didn't even sound right.
Hey, it doesn't really. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, but you know what I'm saying.
Sound like a TBE comment.
Yeah, I know that sounds like some TBE would say. It just would be AJ's meat. It would be AJ meat though.
Well, really?
Oh, your girl from Kenya. So he aiming to get a third pack. That's what's up, man. Shit, I'm just happy that I'm
in the building.
They still won't let me in Canada though, Matt. They still won't let me in.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a passport because I'm afraid to leave the country.
Oh, the homie Irish Boxing Bros in the building.
Oh,
Irish Boxing Bros in the building. What's going on, bro?
He said, "Yo, G, what happened to your guy, the con man Fury?"
Hey man, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Irish, don't swing at G too early, man. We ain't start the show yet.
Oh man. Hold on.
Yo, how is Wilder catching strays when Fury got his ass beat? I don't understand what's going on.
All the time on this show. It happens all the time.
You know you're Wilder's lawyer. Yo, relax.
Yeah, you know Wilder lost.
Damn
yo.
shame, bro.
Damn.
Damn.
You threw that
Amsterdam in the building.
You threw
The
that
red
in?
light district in the building.
It's no
from Amsterdam. What's going on?
on?
I love Amsterdam. You know, already know how I'm rocking.
You know how we get that.
Yo, he said someone wrote TVE loves the meat. Hey, come on, man.
Hey,
I mean, are you talking about TVE or TBE? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, TV ain't me. You got the wrong person, yo. That's not me. That's not me.
Yeah, Complex is here.
Complex back.
We got Complex.
Happy to be back. Happy to be back.
Hey, Complex has been grinding, man. Complex has been handling business, but he took the time to join his bros this morning, so we appreciate that.
I mean, after last night, I had to. I was like, "There's no way I could miss this show."
All right, now you see, this is what I'm talking about. Francis did better in 10 rounds than Wilder in 3 fights. I already know some of those shows. All right. Yo, man.
Someone said Fury looked to fight it as an exhibition, but Ngannou had other ideas. Yo, that's what it looked like when Fury was on the ground looking up. It looked like
he's like, chill, dog. He's supposed to be.
Fury was like, did you not get the memo, bro?
He said, you didn't get the memo? This is supposed to be fake.
Right? It's supposed to be wrestling. It's supposed to be wrestling. What we doing?
Fury was like, he's really trying to beat me.
Oh, man.
Oh, so Robert Bailey said,
He's
how's
good.
your lad, Trill? I hope he's okay.
Mhm.
And you are, bro. Much respect to him.
Much respect and love to you, man. And Zombie, he's doing good, man. They just, he's on standby. They try to see what, whatever trying to do, they gonna make the next move. But he's ready. He's focused. He's a warrior.
Oh, so he hasn't been deployed yet?
No. They got him
All
on
right,
standby.
word. All right.
Salute to my
What,
nephew,
is it-
Zombie.
Is he in the States? Is he in the States or is he overseas?
No, he's in the States. They got him ready.
Right
They already
now.
got them. They already sent him his itinerary and all that.
Wow, word. Okay.
So,
Salute to all the veterans.
Yeah, shout out
Much
to all
love
the troops, all the
to my
veterans.
nephew,
Yeah.
Zombie, and the Marines holding it down for the fam.
Any send mad love. Any send love. Zombie sent this love, man.
Yeah, Irish Boston, bro. What's all this animosity towards me, man? I already told y'all. I like my man Usyk,
because he
man.
knows what's coming. He
know
knows
what I'm
what's
saying?
coming.
Oh,
He
yo,
like,
y'all didn't
nigga,
see
he
KTH
can
for
see
life?
it coming.
KTH for life. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's good?
Oh,
Dwight
salute to
Howard is
KTH
straight.
for life.
Yo, the white.
Yo. Dwight Howard is straight.
What up, man? What's going on, man?
I knew someone was gonna come with. Yo, is this Andre Ward's freshly licked lips just changing his icon? Either way, he said Fury will visit AJ in that dark room. Well, I know one thing's for sure. If Fury doesn't visit AJ in that dark room, the Dwight Howard certainly will. All right, let's move on.
Hey man, listen, man. Listen, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I love the fact that
Listen,
everyone who watches this show regularly can see G about the flip flop. I love it.
Y'all talking
I
about?
love it.
Y'all talking about? Yo, listen, hey, Usyk proved to me last week. You know what I mean? He a top fighter, so it is what it is, man.
Pause this, man. Yo, go to Andre Ward's freshly licked lips real quick.
He said, no, I prefer.
He said, no, I prefer Andre Ward. My man is wild.
Meet the Fosters. What's going on, bro? Meet the Fosters is here. Been looking forward to this all day. And don't worry, Irish Boxing, bro. We all know why you aiming at G.
Yo, listen, go to my man Dwight Howard is straight real quick. Word on the street is Dwight Howard's favorite play in basketball is setting backdoor screens. All right, so yo, I'm just saying what I heard. You know, so I'm just saying what I heard. I know Dwight. Dwight who? Dwight around your lip.
The white? We talking about the white?
Hey, that's from a movie, so I don't.
You know Dwight Howard, man. He quick to put that D on a defender.
Yo, hold on. What's my man? Is it Kija? He said first thing I did after the fight was rewatch y'all predictions for the fight. He said, Kaden, you gotta go in the dark room too, bro. Pause. Hey, listen.
Hell yeah, you did say that.
Hey, but who won? At the end of the day, who won? Who won? It's boxing. Even when I lose, I win. It's boxing, baby.
Hey, I would say this right now. 10,000 likes.
Yo, we gotta stop this activity in our comment section. Hold on. Yo, go to Dwight Howard straight real quick. My man said Andre Ward. I'm like,
you guys are getting different on me, man.
Yo, Ned, are these your burner accounts? G? Yo,
I see Ned over there.
What's going on here?
TV, what you doing over there, TV?
G, get control over here. All right, so we got 92 people in here with us. So we're about to start the show. Hey, yo, put my man.
I'm not even gonna share that. I see it. I ain't.
Nah, that's cool. I'm not offended by it. Put it up there, dog.
Right.
Yo, watch your mouth. Okay? This only shows your thoughts, okay? For real. Now, you know what I'm saying? Be gone. All right, so we're about to start. We got 90 people in here. All right, so let's get it popping. The first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros: did Francis Ngannou deserve the decision over Tyson Fury? Well, before we actually answer that question, we're going to look at some of the reaction to the fight that took place immediately after on social media. All right. So part of the reason why we were late is we were trying to figure out the technical issues that we were having. So I got to ask, can y'all see this?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it? Okay. So this is punch stat numbers from the fight. And it says that total jabs landed / thrown. Fury landed 39 jabs. He threw 137. Francis Ngannou landed 22 jabs. He threw 115. Power punches landed / thrown. Fury landed 32 power punches. He threw 86. Ngannou landed 37 power punches. He threw 116. Total punches landed / thrown. Fury landed 71, and he threw 223. Francis Ngannou threw 59. Francis Ngannou threw 231 punches, and he landed 59. So those are the numbers. So if you wanted to judge based on that. One of the most popular athletes in America, LeBron James, tweeted out exactly why I don't watch boxing. Come on, man. That's what he tweeted out. So it seems as though he thought Ngannou won. Lou DiBella wrote, a famous legendary boxing promoter, Lou DiBella wrote, couldn't you see those cards coming? Yeah, it was close, but a fighting man / novice scored the only knockdown, landed the harder punches, and controlled the pace of the fight. The heavyweight champion of the world shrugged this one off and embarrassed #boxing. Hard to do. That's what he wrote. And according to Boxing, which is a Twitter account that posts a lot of things, said they just robbed Ngannou. Usyk versus Ngannou should be next. I don't want to see Fury fight again. He got his A beat and the whole world knows he lost. Robbery of the year. His bread and butter was his ability to smother opponents, but he fought a legit wrestler who was a better boxer than he was. Fury is trash. Mm-hmm. So that's what he had to say. Ebony Bridges, the blonde bomber, she wrote, Francis Ngannou is my new favorite heavyweight boxer, with the hand heart emoji, laughing eyes, and the heart emoji. Not even joking, with the looking eyes. So perhaps this is deeper than boxing. I don't know, but Jamel Herring wrote, Fury about to F around and lose by decision. You can tell when someone is carrying a fight. This ain't one of those scenarios. He is fighting for his life at this point. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing this and pull up the videos. So this is video footage from what happened during the fight. Let's get over here. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull this up. Oh, actually, I didn't share this one. Let me share this one real quick. Chris Eubank Jr. tweeted, watching from ringside, I thought Ngannou won the fight. It was close, but he was the aggressor, landed heavier shots, and scored a knockdown. Fury deserved to lose after having so much trouble against a man who has never boxed before. Too much time filming Netflix specials and not enough time in the gym, I'm guessing. Unlucky Francis. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. tweeted. All right, so now we're going to look at some of the video reactions to this. Here we go. So here's Francis Ngannou.
It's not a question about it. If he being honest, he will say, "I won that fight. I won."
Y'all see that? No.
There is not a
Yeah, we see it.
Okay.
question about it. If he being honest, he will say, "I won that fight. I won that fight."
So Haitian.
There is not a question about it.
All right. So we're going to also listen to some more of that interview. This is it right here. All right.
Like, I think you are.
Here we go. Start from the beginning.
When you knocked him down, you did a little dance over him, or you taunted him a little bit. Do you even remember that?
Yes. Well, because when we started, he said, "Let's go to school." So I'm like, I think you're a bad teacher.
Did you sense, or how quickly did you sense a change in his attitude towards you? That maybe he thought it was going to go a certain way and it wasn't going that way?
I know he's going to be like that. I know, like everybody that doubted my ability to box is going to be like that, you know. I realized, I feel the fight over as he was going, and his attitude was changing. Basically, when I was changing to southpaw, he wasn't doing anything. Like when I want to rest, I switched to southpaw. Like he not doing anything he can do. So I realized that he was having a struggle right there at that moment. And in the southpaw, I have my right hand. My left hand can go pretty good, but I wasn't in my best. I was slowing down already. I wasn't in my best speed, and I think it was the 5th or the 6th round. I kind of like get him in that round, but I didn't want to go crazy because I don't want to put too much power. The focus in this fight was like not to push power, you know, to fight. Just focus on fighting, not go there, put energy on everything and gas out. Like just fight, and then if the knockout comes, it comes. If not, then we fight to the decision. So that was the plan.
All right. So that's the reaction from the general public, but we want to get the reaction from the bros. And we have our boxing cousin here, so it's only right that we start this off with the boxing cousin. I'm going to send it over to you, Complex. Did Francis Ngannou deserve the decision over Tyson Fury? If so, why? And what were your observations during that fight?
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I watched the fight in the middle of a quinceañera, right? I was in between, you know, dancing and whatever, and like looking down at my phone. Listen, I could see, even from there, no commentary, no nothing, watching. I could see Ngannou was controlling that fight. Ngannou controlled that fight. Ngannou was in control from start to finish. At best, I'd give 5 rounds to each. I didn't really see any rounds where Fury was like outclassing Ngannou or clearly winning the rounds. Maybe some close rounds, but to me, it was at least 5-5 or more Ngannou. And then with the knockdown, I was like, Ngannou should get the victory. But knowing boxing, I knew that Fury was going to win. To me, Ngannou is the lineal boxing champion right now. He's a lineal UFC champion, and he's a lineal boxing champion. And to me, he actually proved that he's the baddest man on the planet, because if he could come in there with no boxing ability and fight the heavyweight champion, and even getting that close, right, knock him down and effectively win the fight. If this was an MMA fight, it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be a conversation. Like the when he knocked him down, if this was an MMA fight, Ngannou wouldn't have been able to get on top of him and like finish him. Pause. But at the end of the day, when it came to even just a boxing match, Ngannou proved that he was a competent boxer, and not just competent, but he looked better. And I don't know if Fury maybe took the night off or whatever. Maybe Fury thought like, oh, I'm about to come in here and just school this guy. Didn't take it seriously. Even if that's the case, that's a shame on you as a champion. You're supposed to come in and represent your sport and be the world champion. If you come in there looking like trash, that's on you, and that says more about you and how you treat your sport. So honestly, I think Ngannou should have won, because really, if you give it 5-5 plus a knockdown, that's 1 point win for Ngannou. I think the judges, looking at their scorecards, and I don't know if that's one of your segment later, they were a little all over the place, and I just feel like they were kind of giving rounds away to Fury as opposed to like really giving them to who was supposed to be winning the rounds. When you even look at the CompuBox, I think Ngannou landed more power punches over the fight than Fury. So that's crazy. How is it that one guy gets a knockdown and lands more power punches but still loses the fight? That's kind of crazy to me. Ngannou is, I think should have gotten the nod. I hope it's a rematch. It reminds me of Rocky 1 when he came in and he knocks down the champ and he gets like the draw or whatever the case. This is like literally line for line, and it's literally the Rocky movie. You can't even you can't write this shit.
Just a little in reverse,
right? But Ngannou was Rocky. Ngannou came in and he shook up the world. And there's a lot of things I want to say, but one last thing is just in terms of Fury. Where does this leave Fury now? Right? He's still the champion. Obviously, he still has to defend his belt, fight against Usyk. But I just want people to know the reason a lot of Fury's success is because of his size. I don't think people talk about that. Fury's like 6'8", and he's like 270, 280 when he comes into the ring, right? So I like how people brought up Wilder, right? Perfect example. Cool. So Wilder, because Ngannou do so much better, Wilder is that much worse, right? Fine. When you look at the size difference, Wilder weighs about 220, 230. Ngannou was 270 the night of the fight. So when Fury fought a guy who was a similar size to him in terms of weight, size, height, reach, all those things, he didn't look as spectacular. Fury usually has a couple inches on the guy, a reach on the guy, and weight. So, it was crazy to me when people were putting Fury on the pound for pound list, when pound for pound literally means that if we're the same size, I would beat you. But Fury's never the same size with most of his opponents. He's usually the heavier guy and the taller guy. He's never, and I mean, that's just his natural, how he was born. It's not his fault. But I just want this to put things into perspective in terms of the opponents, right? Wilder was able to knock Fury down with Fury having a 50-pound weight advantage. Ngannou, with a very closer in weight, was able to knock Fury down as well. So I just think this shows that Fury is really where he's at, because not only, he does have skill, but his weight and height and reach do play a significant factor in his success. And I think we just have to give that some thought. I don't think we ever think about that when we talk about it, because, but anyways, I'll stop right there. Ngannou, baddest man on the planet and heavyweight champion.
All right. You heard what Complex had to say. So his Deontay Wilder lawyering came out a little bit in that, but we're gonna let that be for a second.
Hey,
and it's time to hear.
Wilder was catching strays in the comments, so I was like, hey, I gotta dead this right now. I'm not gonna let this happen to my man like that.
All right. So now we're gonna throw it over to G, man. The people want to know what G has to say, and I'm just telling you right now, the G slides are available at the Bronx Bros page. Just letting you know. Go ahead, G.
Well, first and foremost, I like to salute my uncle, Francois Pierre Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can't tell me, man. Listen, this dude sound like TBE's dad, bro. You know what I'm saying? That dude got to be Haitian, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, in regards to this fight, I'm be honest with y'all. I kind of feel what everyone's saying, but a part of me is like, yo, it was all acting anyways. I don't think it was a real fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was a script and everybody played their position except for Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fury got hit. Fury was like, yo, this dude really just hit me, son. Like, yo, you going off script. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, even with the scorecards, I was like, I really at the end I was like, damn, yo, Fury really just lost to a MMA fighter. That's crazy. And then they announced Ngannou as the winner. I mean, Fury as the winner. And I was like, what? And I was like, WBC, man. We be crooks at it again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like it is what it is. I'm not gonna say like the fight wasn't close. It actually was close. But because of that knockdown, there's no way Fury won that fight. So I was like, come on, man. You got to give it to the man that won. So salute to Ngannou for a surprising victory. And salute to Saudi Arabia, because I ain't going to lie, man. I was actually entertained by the amount of celebrities, about the performance. Like, I thought all of that was cool. I didn't like Fury or Ngannou's entrance. I thought that was kind of lame. But out of there, besides that, just the atmosphere was dope. It was lively. And for an event at Saudi Arabia, I'm looking forward to them, hosting another major event. So salute to the princes who put that together.
So, G, man, the people want to know, is every French black man Haitian?
Come on. How about this? All right, Kaden, you live in Boston, man.
I do.
You've been around enough Haitians to know.
I have.
He sounds like a Haitian brother. Let's keep it 100. When he was
I'm not about to say something that's going to put me in that line of fire. I'll just say that.
Yo, it's a good thing. My Cameroonian brothers, let me hold that, yo. Yo, Haitian brothers, man, we haven't had a champion since my man, I see. I forgot his name. That's how bad it was.
Stavern, man, Stavern.
Since Stavern got murdered, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'll say this: if you told me Ngannou was Haitian, I would believe it. All right,
that's a fact.
Trill Dollar Bill, your reaction?
My reaction? Nah, I kind of agree with G, man. Like, I was in Saudi Arabia. I want to visit there, man. Shoot, I got my whole Aladdin outfit and everything. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. I can't wait, yo. You know what I'm saying? They letting brothers in there. I'll go. I can't wait. I got my passport. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? But
I know this already. I don't need to say this. This is a show based on love. If you could tell, we crack jokes about everything and all of our cultures, everything. It's all love, no hate here. But I know, but there's always someone looking to be offended. So you know what I mean? You gotta kind of just make that known. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Nah. What I was gonna say was we already know who won. Yo, and then I was like, yo, I actually thought that he was, playing and that he was gonna, let him come off and then he was gonna knock him out in the end. That's what I thought it was, just trying to build up and hype it like, the WWE, you know what I'm saying, how they do it, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, man, that was crazy. That was definitely crazy, man. Shout out to Tommy Fury. Shout out to Tommy. Y'all was over. People was in there treating Tommy messed up, saying Tommy can't come home. Tommy can't ride in the car. Tommy drove home in the front seat last night. He was in the front seat. You know what I'm saying? Tyson was all the way in the back. You know what I'm saying? He got to be embarrassed, man, especially at all the pressure you put on your little bro, and then you go out here and you do this. I know for a fact he ain't going to go try to fight my man Usyk after this performance. I know that's not happening. I said that to the brothers last night. I was like, now we're definitely not going to get undisputed now. We're definitely not going to get it now. Francis messed up the whole thing. They should just give Francis the belt.
Or Trill, that was a part of the script. I'm telling you.
I hope so, but I don't think so.
Right, that was a script, right?
I hope so, but I
remember.
don't think
hold on, what Frank Warren said at the end of that fight. We're gonna have to change that date. I was like, exactly.
Yeah, of course. There's no way.
It was all in the script, bro. They were playing.
Yeah, not to give my man his shot, not to give the rabbit his shot. That's all that is, and that's sad. You know what I'm saying? And Tyson Fury looked every bit of 37 years old. in there. It looked like he never boxed before. The guy that never boxed before looked better than the guy who was the lineal, you know what I'm saying? And the WBC champion, who was once undisputed, who everybody said was the guy, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't it. I think maybe it was too much of the layoff and other things going on, and I'm not even no. We're not doing this, right? Y'all say no excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm already starting to make excuses for him. You know what I'm saying? No excuses. Once you step in that ring, there's no excuses. Nobody wants to care about the ring rush or nothing like that. You can't say that you took him lightly. You was the one that was tickling him at the come on. You was sitting there tickling whatever, man. I ain't never tickled a grown man before. You know what I'm saying? You over there tickling him and everything, and you thought that you was just gonna go in there and wipe him clean, and that ain't what happened. You know, he went in there, and I really think that Francis won that. I really think so. I think he won that, and they robbed him. They robbed him.
So people want to know what's going on with Ned, man. The brother JH Lethal E said Ned came back with a big smile. Now he sleeps sitting up. What you been doing, TBE? And then someone else wrote, the homie Robert Bailey said, yo, Ned, wake up, bro. So,
Yeah.
Ned, people in the comment section think you're sleeping. This is your chance. This is your chance to prove that you've been awake. Ned, what was your reaction to this fight?
Yeah, I feel my reaction to this fight. First off, I'm gonna call out all the
hold on. Time out. Before, I apologize for cutting you off real quick. But please show Corey Hayes 23 real quick.
No.
I don't even want to do it.
No, I want to, please, for me. Yo, this is so corny. Like everyone in the comment section, how unoriginal is this? This isn't even fourth grade level. This is second grade level at best. If you want to insult people, at least be clever about it. At least come up with something original.
I know, Corey, because you know the only hoe is your mother. So stop that.
She be out in man. She be out here in the corner.
You know,
they call his mom shotgun. Two cocks she blows. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's move on though. Let's move on though. My man, you gotta be more clever than that. If you're clever, we'll laugh and we'll ride with it. But that's just straight corny, Corey. You know what I'm saying?
You know your mother and Tupac.
Yeah, my apologies.
Get around.
Come on now. All right, sorry, TBE. You can go back to what you
I
were saying.
apologize, TBE. That was me being immature today.
Yeah, they're being immature today, yo. I don't know. Like, I'm a busy man, but that's it. But yo, this fight, my reaction to this fight, Ngannou did get Fury. And like the fact that it didn't come in his decision is crazy, but Fury, and I know you hate when I do this, but you put the camera in your back when you back this man. You was like, he gonna body Usyk, and I'm like, no, he's not. And this is why I got these colors on today, because it's Ukraine, real stuff, yo. It's like, yo, this history be made. The history be made right now. And when you see a champion and somebody who talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk, sit here and bark all day, and you got fighters who put in the grind. Yes, they lose. Yes, they win. Things like that. And it's a lot of emotion going on right now. It's a lot of emotion. I'm just saying, Fury got exposed last night.
I'm not laughing at that, yo.
No. G took the
HOD's coming up there. I won't read it, but the people need to see this.
G took the first ticket to the Fury train.
This type of stuff is kind of reckless. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sounding reckless. James is the first.
I'm not talking about you,
train
man. I'm
ticket
talking about
train.
Sometimes you got to give people the energy they're looking for so they can understand why they shouldn't test you. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
All right.
What to say? Hold up.
It's in my
I
chest.
don't know. I can't look at what I'm trying to build. But all I'm saying is, you want war? We here. Ukraine, baby. And yo, besides all of that, well, how Fury performed last night, I didn't expect that from him. I thought I picked Fury to win, but Ngannou showed that he showed up and he showed out, and I expected. The decision didn't go in his favor, but we all
But it
saw.
doesn't matter. Ukraine still
Boxing.
won.
When you see boxing, we know boxing, and we all know robbery. You don't need no mask, no gun when you get robbed. They could take your stuff at willing, and that's what they did to Ngannou last night.
I want to give a shout out to Alexander Sankey in the building. Another Boxing Bros Day One. Someone who shows love, watches every week. I
HOD
just
is
saw,
here. HOD is in here.
Yep, Slum Raptor
Slum.
just came in. You know what I mean? Super sardonic as well. So now I'm gonna jump into how I feel. The first thing I want to say out of the gate is I scored this fight 95-94 for Francis Ngannou. I thought Francis Ngannou got the knockdown and he landed the harder punches. Fury landed more jabs. But again, jabs are the basic punch. Jabs are the first punch that you're taught. And quite frankly, Fury's the taller fighter, so he shouldn't land more jabs. If you're the taller fighter and you don't land more jabs, it's a waste of your height advantage, right? So the fact that Ngannou landed more power punches than Fury tells you that Ngannou was able to get inside and actually do work with his power punches. So that's one thing I want to say. So the fact that I had it 95-94, to me doesn't make the outcome a robbery. I get it. Francis Ngannou was making his pro debut. Everyone was saying that he was going to be outclassed, and I actually scored the fight for him, but by 1 point. And in the sport of boxing, a close fight isn't a robbery. People tend to get out of pocket, but the fact that we're talking about the lineal heavyweight champion, two-time lineal, former undisputed, currently WBC champion, fighting this guy making his pro debut, and it was such a mismatch, it feels like a robbery. Because Francis Ngannou wasn't supposed to compete with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was supposed to take him to school and show him why boxing is completely different from MMA. But to all the Tyson Fury fans out there, I do want to throw you this lifeline. We're talking about Francis freaking Ngannou. We're not talking about some dude off the street. We're talking about one of the best athletes in the world, one of the best conditioned men alive. We're talking about one of the baddest men on the planet. We're not talking about some random dude who they just picked up off the street to make a pro debut. No, Francis is a monster, been a monster. He's an athlete. He's a fighter. So it's not like Fury lost to some bum, right? Or that Fury was in a close fight with some bum. That's what people make it sound like when they say he lost to a guy making his pro debut. Most people make it sound like Francis never had a fight in his life. Most people make it sound like Francis isn't an elite athlete. Most people make it sound like that. So I don't want to be one of those people who do that. But I do want to point out, though, it does matter the fact that Francis Ngannou was able to compete with Tyson Fury. And I'm going to tell you why that matters. Tyson Fury has never fought fighters, actual boxers who actually mimic and actually have the physical attributes that Ngannou have, that Ngannou has. And he's always just pointed out like he could just beat them. Like, oh, he could just beat AJ. Oh, he could just beat, all these other guys. And everyone just gave him credit for it. So that's why, to me, right, what Ngannou was able to do is like, okay, Fury, you got to prove a lot of things now. You say you're the best of your generation, but you got to prove a lot of things now. And we're going to talk about that later on. My one takeaway from this fight, which was my takeaway from which was my takeaway. I never said Fury was undisputed. I said unified. He was unified when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. He had all the belts that Usyk currently has when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. Then he got suspended and the belts got vacated. And that's when he ballooned up and everything. And then he came back and he won the WBC title. So technically, Fury has held every heavyweight belt you can possibly have at some particular point in time. He hasn't held them all at the same time. No, so he's never been undisputed, but he has had every single belt. So let me just correct that. I never said that he was undisputed. And if I did,
I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Technically, no, he's never held every belt at one time, but he has held every heavyweight belt you can possibly have, including the Ring Magazine belt. So do with that what you will. And he's never lost the belts in the ring. So some people can look at it like that. He never lost the belts in the ring, and he's had every single belt. However you want to look at it, whatever. But when I think about Jake Paul's fight with Tommy Fury, right? When I think about KSI's fight, when I think about these fights, even I'm starting to feel like in boxing, knockdowns should be more than a 1-point deduction.
Exactly.
Because when you watch the fight between Fury and Ngannou, all things being equal, like Complex said, 5-5, difference being the knockdown, that knockdown looms large over why we perceive Ngannou as the winner. It was like you'd rather be Ngannou. You saw Ngannou's dominance. The only thing that held Ngannou back was the knockdown is only a 1-point deduction for Fury. So basically, all Fury has to do to overcome a knockdown is to win the next 2 rounds. And to me, that's way too easy because it's extremely hard and difficult to knock down a fighter in the ring. Otherwise, we would see it all the time. So to me, boxing really needs to reevaluate the number of points you're deducted if you get knocked down. At least make it a 10-7 round, because to me, it's way too easy to make up for a knockdown, right? And part of why people perceive Ngannou as beating Tyson Fury is because we saw him dominate. We saw him drop Fury. Fury did win some rounds using the jab and doing typical boxing, but we all know that Ngannou was dominant. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to point out is Ngannou actually has boxing skill. People say he was making his boxing debut, but there's footage of Ngannou doing kickboxing around YouTube. So he's thrown punches before, right? But why I say he has skill is what shocked me, and I know it shocked Fury, was when Ngannou switched southpaw. And you heard him talking about it. And he was able to handle business. Southpaw. Like switching southpaw. TC gets so much credit for doing that. And we're talking about TC, #1 pound for pound fighter on my list. And Ngannou was doing that in his pro debut against the lineal heavyweight champion of the world in boxing. So to me, you got to give him a lot of credit for that. The other thing I want to point out, power punches. Although the punch stat says that Fury landed 30 some odd power punches in a similar range to Francis Ngannou, a power punch by punch stats is any punch that is not a jab. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't understand boxing, they'll misconstrue it as thinking it was a powerful punch that hurt Ngannou. No, it could have been a straight right hand that barely tipped them and it connected, and so they call that a power punch. But I can tell you, of the 30 some odd punches that Ngannou landed, a lot of them hurt Fury several times. None of Fury's power punches hurt Ngannou. But they're called power punches, but there was no power on them because they didn't hurt Ngannou. If we actually kept power punch stats, like how many punches did Ngannou land that hurt Fury, there would be at least 10. And you're like, how many power punches did Fury land that hurt Ngannou? It would be 0. That's another thing that plays into the perception of why people see Ngannou as the winner. Because not only did he drop Fury, he hurt Fury several times during that fight, and Fury did not hurt him. So the other thing that I want to point out, because I saw someone say MMA is better than boxing, and I hear this argument. It's a dumb argument. Have we not learned yet that it's based on the individual? The individual will determine the outcome. Every MMA fighter can't go in a boxing ring and beat a boxer. We already have several examples of that. And every boxer can't go into an MMA octagon and beat, or whatever, because I know it's different. They can't go into the world of MMA and beat an MMA fighter. There are certain people who can do that based on their skill set. Just like Deion Sanders was able to play football and baseball at the pro level. And Bo Jackson. How many people can do that? Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can be a pro and succeed in two sports. It's about the individual and athletic ability. But the one misconception that everyone makes is that, oh, just because this person does this, because this person does that, they can't succeed in the other sport. And that's what happened with Ngannou, and he was underestimated. I said this before, and I'll say it again. Everybody fights. Everybody fights. To be successful in a fight, I'm telling you, to be successful in a fight requires a few things. But one of the most important things is conditioning. If you are in good condition, if you have good stamina, if you can go rounds, you give yourself a good chance to be in any fight. If you have power, which Francis Ngannou has, that's another equalizer. So when people sit around, and I'll be honest, I didn't think that Francis Ngannou would have the skill nor speed to connect with Tyson Fury clean. But he did. And which brings me to another point. Ngannou was clearly fronting on them pads, bro. When he was doing that pad work, because soon as the fight started, I'm like, yo, this dude is a lot faster than he looked on them pads. Like when he was trying to counter Fury. So in closing, I'll just say this, right? Francis Ngannou isn't a regular dude. Francis Ngannou is a champion in MMA. He's a phenomenal athlete. This wasn't his first time in a boxing ring, although he was making his professional boxing debut. But the reason why he's perceived as the winner is because, one, he scored a knockdown. Although a knockdown is a 1-point deduction in boxing, it really should be more, and it sticks in the psyche of everyone who observed it. Two, he actually landed more punches that hurt Fury than Fury did that hurt him, and we all saw it, so we saw him as the more dominant figure in the ring. That's why, despite Fury getting the decision based on the Marcus Queensberry rules of boxing, we all know we saw Ngannou dominate that fight, and the public sees him as the winner. So that's my take on that. Did Francis deserve to win the decision? On my card, he did. It's not a robbery that he didn't, but who's the baddest man on the planet? I think if we did a poll, most people would say Ngannou won that. So, all right, we can move on to the next topic.
Should Francis Ngannou return to MMA or stick with boxing?
All right, so we're going to take a look at some tweets, and then we'll discuss this. All right.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right, so here's a tweet from Michael Benson. He says, Francis Ngannou's trainer Dewey Cooper said the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman, We Be Crooks president, told him in the ring after the Tyson Fury fight that the WBC will now rank Ngannou in their top 10, meaning the WBC heavyweight world title could be on the line in a potential rematch with Tyson Fury. So that's what he had to say. All right, so let me stop sharing this real quick. All right, and take a look at this other tweet, and then we'll dive in. So Actually, this is a video. This is what Francis said in the post-fight interview.
Great. A lot of people didn't give you a chance. You scored a knockdown. They said if you survived 10 rounds, that would be a miracle. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fantastic. And I'm very happy. It didn't go my way, but, I want to thank Riyadh Season and Your Excellency, Mr. Jiki Al-Sher right here, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for giving me this opportunity to prove people wrong one more time again. I might be a betty today. I might come out short today, but I'm not... I might be wounded, but I'm not a betty yet, man. I can bite, I can bite. And I'm just a fighter, and I'm ready to fight anytime soon. We can run it back again, and I'm sure I'm going to get better. This was my first boxing match. Great experience. I mean, I'm not giving any excuse. I know I come out short, but I'm gonna go back and work harder with a little more experience this time, little more feeling of the game, and come back even stronger. Because at first I was a little nervous, like this new sport that I never did, that I don't really feel it. Now I know I can do this shit. And hey, baby, get ready. A wolf is in the house, so I'm gonna buy some shit
To knock down.
All right, so you heard what he said.
Let's
He
go.
said that now he knows he can do this, and he got the experience, and he feels very confident. So the question is, should Francis Ngannou return to MMA or stick to boxing? We got our cousin in the building, Complex. What do you say about this?
All right. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a big MMA fan. Obviously, I've been watching MMA actually longer than boxing. So I've been following the UFC and in general MMA for a long time. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the whole backstory with Francis. If you'll indulge me, let me go through it real quick. Francis is a guy who came from Cameroon, traveled up Africa to the north of Africa, went across the Mediterranean, made it to France, right? Oh, not
Flag on the play. I'm sorry, Complex. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we not indulging you. Pause.
Just shut up.
We're not indulging you.
All right.
Pause. You stopping there
Yo, this is
right
normal.
there.
Go ahead.
All
right.
right, continue with your what you were saying.
So he made it to France, right? And a lot of people in Africa, or not a lot, but some people try to do this trip, and it's really dangerous, right? So the fact that he even made it there alive is a miracle. He made it to France, and he took up fighting in a gym in France. Just walked into a gym, right? This is a regular guy off the street, and then he ended up training in MMA, becoming the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, which is incredible in itself, right? Didn't start as a kid, started in his probably late teens or 20s, right? Then on top of that, fought the UFC in a way where he fought the contract. Now, the UFC and MMA is different from boxing. The promoter is the sanctioning body. They can decide who's the champion and who's not. He fought out his contract, and Dana White, if you know anything about him, he's a really sleazy businessman, tried to screw him over every which way possible. Francis stuck to his guns, bet on himself, and left the UFC as a champion. That almost never happens, where they will never let you leave as a champion. They're going to find a way to get the belt off you. He left as a champion. Signed with another promotion, right, which is paying him way more money than the UFC is, and was able to get a fight with the heavyweight champion of the world, getting paid way more than he's ever gotten paid in MMA. And MMA, his purses were like 600,000, maybe a couple 100,000. He made like 10 million last night. So think of how many years you'd have to fight in MMA, right, to get that same level of money. So with all that said, to get this far, just to even get close to the championship, to be only a few points away from being heavyweight champion of the world, just shows how special of a guy Francis is. So I say all that to say, should he stick with boxing? I think so, because he's already proven everything he's done in MMA. He's been the UFC champion. He signed for another fight league, which is called the PFL, the Professional Fight League, which is not as big as UFC. I'm sure he'll go back at some point and take some fights, because he's got a guaranteed contract there with a lot of money. But I really think he should push and see how far he can go with boxing, because he's already come this far. He's proven against all odds to get to this far. I think in a rematch, I don't know if he'll win over 12 rounds, but I would give him a really good chance. He's a strong guy. He's 270 pure muscle. The guy is a freak of nature. He's not a normal person. He's not a normal human being. I think he would really cause a lot of issues in the heavyweight division if he came in. I think you put him up against some other guys. I don't know if this is a topic later, but him versus Wilder, just take my money, please. Whatever. I will be there. I will fly there because the arena would explode from the amount of punching power just in one ring. But I'm excited. Ngannou really excited me. And honestly, I want to see more guys cross over. I want to see more guys from MMA come over, and I want to see some guys go into MMA. Let's make this thing interesting because, boxing obviously is going through some rough times right now, and I don't know if this is a topic later, but, with Showtime leaving, something needs to happen within the sport to bring the casual viewer back. And somebody like Francis Ngannou is going to bring a lot more viewers because everybody's curious now to see what can this guy do, right? How far can he go? He just almost got the heavyweight championship. What happens in a rematch? What happens with Wilder, AJ? What happens with Zhang? What happens with the Dillian White? Who knows? The endless fights. We need something to shake up the division, and Ngannou just might be it. So Ngannou, I even though I love watching him in MMA and I wouldn't mind seeing him in the PFL, I really much prefer seeing him in boxing, especially he's in his mid-30s, 35, something like that. He's only got so much time.
37.
So, is he 37?
That's what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, that's
37.
So he's got this much time. So I really want to see him get in there, have some good matchups in boxing, take an MMA fight here and there, but you've got nothing to prove in MMA. And I know some people in the comments are saying John Jones will still beat him. I doubt that. I pick Ngannou over John Jones, and we could do the MMA bros conversation later on. But I think Ngannou is still the best MMA heavyweight on the planet, and I think he's still the best. He's close to being the best boxer on the planet, and I just want to see some more fights so we can prove it.
All right, appreciate that take. Yo, G, you want to add the Showtime topic? Showtime leaving boxing. We can do that right before Amanda Serrano. Dollar Bill, what do you think? Should Ngannou return to MMA or stick with boxing?
I'm going to be real fast. Yeah, that's where the bread is. The bread is in boxing, so I would stay where the bread is. And I apologize, yo. We apologize if y'all keep cutting out. I'm seeing a lot of comments of it lagging and stuff like that. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. We good over here. We locked in over here. We don't know if y'all keep breaking up. People keep saying, yes, the stream is breaking up, but we apologize. There's nothing on our end, though, but much love. But, yeah, to keep it short and sweet, yeah, I think he should stay in boxing because that's where the bread is, and there's a lot of opportunities. Tyson Fury, they're going to try to set up another rematch over there, and I can't wait to the next segment.
All right, Conspiracy G.
Yeah, I think Francis Ngannou should stay in boxing because, me, I'm always I advocate for the fighters, and I was familiar with his situation with his negotiations with the UFC. And I didn't like how Dana White was pretty much like, yo, we're not gonna acquiesce. And if you don't like it, you could bounce. And it's just like, yo, come on, man. He's one of the stars in your organization, right? And they could just underpay their fighters like that. So to me, boxing has a lot of issues. But at the very least, boxing pays their fighters well. And if Ngannou and other MMA fighters could transition into boxing, then why not? He lost to Tyson Fury, but let's be real, he won. So in the eyes of everyone, he's the people's champ, and so because he's the people's champ, he should milk that, and I too want to see him face other gentlemen, I think it could be anybody, to be honest with you, but definitely like a Wilder, AJ, Usyk, I would love to see those. I'm not too sold on the rematch with Fury because I think everyone wants to see Fury versus Usyk. But now that we got Ngannou in here, and I'm not mad at Mauricio Suleiman and WBC for ranking him, even though I don't agree with the ranking, but I understand why they're doing it because, again, Francis Ngannou brings a lot of fans from the MMA side to the boxing side. So it's an excellent strategy on their behalf to rank him, So I think if I was Francis, man, I try to milk this for as much as I could get. He's 37 years old. So, hey, man, you got a couple more years left. If you can land at least 2 more big fights in boxing, get those big paydays, man. So definitely he should stay with boxing.
I just want to reiterate what Trill said. I'm seeing some people have issues with the stream, but there are people who are not. Like, for example, I saw that some people said the stream is good in Australia. Matthew said the stream is good in Australia.
What's up,
Don
Matthew?
Hardy.
I'm gonna need that work visa when we boxing bros come to Australia.
And Don Harden said it's okay in France, and other people are saying it's okay. So, but KTH for Life said stream is down here. I wonder if y'all from the UK, if the stream is down in the UK, perhaps Tyson Fury fans are reporting us, are doing something to get us blocked in the UK. I don't know. If you're saying the stream is down, where are you from? I'm curious to know.
Andre Ward saying his stream is down too.
Yeah. So
It could be that cable provider.
Cricket. Somebody said they're using Cricket.
Must be that.
It's
Must be
interesting,
the AOL.
but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it because that's an issue between StreamYard and your service provider. So hopefully you'll get on because we want y'all, to tap in with us. But Ned the TBE, man, should Francis Ngannou return to MMA or stick with boxing?
Yo, after last night, boxing, he should live it. Because what I saw from Ngannou, it was crazy. Like, it's like, I want to get you, Ngannou. I'm not going to lie. And I still believe if you fight John Bones Jones, you won't get what. But boxing, you knocked down the champion. You beat him up. You beat him up last night. I'm not going to lie. You beat him up. So, there's other people out here think they're big and bad. If you craft, you mold your technique and everything like that, you could do something in this game. And yes, everybody's saying you're over 30, but that doesn't matter. Look at my boy Luis Ortiz. That man's like 1,000,000 years old, and he's still dominating the game. He crafted life, and he's still a face. Is he still a name like? Yo, you gonna fight Luis Ortiz next? Some young fighters be like, no. So, Ngannou, take on. I swear, there's a list of fighters you can challenge. Challenge first. I'll say, Andy Ruiz. Go for him next, cause he ain't have a fight in a minute. Go for him next. Dillian, Derek Chisora. There's a whole list of fighters in the heavyweight division you can go on and build a resume and beat them with what you did last night, and you use that same tactic and get better, craft your skills. You got a name for you could build a name for yourself in boxing, and you already got a name for yourself in MMA. You're already a star. When you beat these guys, it's overweight. You right there with the rest. You're gonna be pound for pound heavyweight boxer. And if you call out AJ, I don't know what happens next. What happens next happens next. I'm not saying do it, but if you do it, what happens next happens next.
All right. So yeah, this is very interesting because I saw some people on the stream, and I don't know if they're still on the stream, but they were saying how boxing is dead or boxing. They're taking shots at boxing, but there's a reason why these MMA fighters are coming to boxing, and that's because they're making more money fighting in boxing. Now, you can't debate that. It's not up for question. It's a undisputed fact. That's why Ngannou wanted out of his contract the way that Complex explained, and that's why he wanted out of his contract to fight someone like Tyson Fury. And you have to think about it. Why would someone like Ngannou be willing to risk it all to make his pro debut against someone who's clearly had more fights and clearly has done this, knowing what it can do, right? So you have to understand that for Ngannou, it was do or die in that ring. And that's why when we were sitting here saying like, oh, he didn't get the script, Ngannou knew if he got embarrassed in that ring that his career would take a major hit. So he was like fighting for his career, fighting for his life, fighting for his livelihood in that ring. And he performed so well that to me, a rematch with Tyson Fury would sell. That fight actually was a bigger spectacle that people are saying like the stream is really bad. Wow, I wonder what's going on, man. Is Frank Warren really trying to get at us, man? But yeah. So you had Ronaldo there. You had Kanye West at the fight. You had all the legends in boxing were at the fight. So I'm just saying, like, to me, this fight was a huge, huge spectacle. And because of the controversial ending, perhaps a rematch with Tyson Fury would sell. So Ngannou should definitely entertain that. And if Fury is saying that he didn't train as well, or he took Ngannou lightly, this will give Fury the opportunity to have an actual training camp and go out there and prove that he is levels above Ngannou. So that's a good fight for him. You just brought it up, Complex. You would love to see Ngannou fight Deontay Wilder. I would love to see Ngannou fight Deontay Wilder. Can you imagine the promotion? Somebody's getting knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like in that fight, somebody is getting knocked out. Right? Now, Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou. Another massive, massive fight that could be sold to the public. And I can remember AJ's had a few fights in Saudi Arabia. He's known out in Saudi Arabia. So that's another big fight. But if Ngannou was really trying to build his experience and trying to build a resume and do boxing the way the average boxer has to build their resume building dubs, a name I would throw out there is Joe Joyce. I think Ngannou would knock out Joe Joyce. I think Joe Joyce is too slow, and he's already coming out off of two knockout defeats from Zhang. He can get in there. I think he knocked Joe Joyce out. Right? Ned mentioned poor Dillian. I think Dillian has seen better days, and I think, but you know, for me, I think Joe Joyce would be a good option for him if he wanted to get some rounds in and get a dub or whatever. Go ahead.
I just said, why? Yo, y'all done said every name except for the person that they always throw in at the O2. Chisora.
Ned brought up Chisora.
At this point, I don't want to see Chisora take any more beatings, man. Like I feel Chisora's easy fight to make.
You ain't knocked me out.
Yeah. So, Ngannou versus Zhang, but I think Zhang is dangerous. I think Zhang is very dangerous for Ngannou.
Fight, especially if it's in China.
It would be a huge fight. See, that's a big fight though. But we talking about risk reward. I think Wilder and Ngannou is risk, but there's a big reward in that fight. I think Ngannou, Joshua, that's a risk, but there's a big reward in that fight. The rematch with Fury, obviously he just lost to Fury. Fury may come back in better shape and may make it look easier, or maybe Ngannou improves and he knocks out Fury and he finishes Fury this time. So I do think Ngannou should go after the biggest fights possible. I think he's a big enough name and he's already proven. First of all, let's just be real about it. Ngannou looked better than Chisora did in the ring against Fury. He looked better than Dillian White did in the ring against Fury. It's debatable if he looked better than Deontay Wilder did. I mean, I think he looked more skilled than Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder did drop Fury, like 4 times in their trilogy? So, like, the point is Ngannou clearly has the eye of the boxing world right now. So why leave? He just put on a great performance. So it would almost be dumb. It reminds me of the Kanye West line. When he said, don't leave when you hot. That's how May screwed up, right? Like, don't leave boxing while you hot, Ngannou. You hot right now. Like, I want to see Ngannou fight again in boxing because he looked that good. Like, I want to see what Ngannou can do. So don't leave right now. You know what I mean? Have another fight in boxing. And let's see how that one goes, and then we'll revisit this discussion.
Did anybody say shout out to Mike Tyson? Shout out to Mike Tyson for holding down Francis and teaching him some things in there because, man, shout out to Mike Tyson, man. Mike Tyson got him prepared and got him ready. You know?
Yeah,
No.
shout out to the other brother. I don't know his name, but he's in the Mayweather gym. He's always in the
with the
Mayweather
dreads,
gym.
yeah, with the one with the dreads and
Yeah, the one with the dreads, and he really taught Ngannou too. And he was
Dewey Cooper. Dewey Cooper's his name.
Cooper, yeah, Dewey.
He's the striking coach. He's Ngannou's striking coach.
Yeah, he did a great job with Ngannou too. Yeah, Dewey Cooper. So shout out to both of them. They definitely had Ngannou ready.
He was definitely striking fury.
Striking Fury sounds like a Netflix series. All right, so let's move on to the next topic.
All right. Next one. Usyk yelled instructions to Fury when he got dropped by Ngannou.
You're ruining the bag.
I gotta set this one up. Oh God. Yeah, it was this is
Yeah, I just sent something in our chat too as well. Like I just saw online something with Usyk. If you want to bring that up as well.
Oh,
in our private chat. That Usyk responded to our Frank Warren's comments.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
hey, yo, Robert, man, have a good day at
up.
work, man. We appreciate you for stepping in with the bros. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
I was about to share it. All right.
All right, yeah, I'm a remind me of that when we talk about if the fight's actually going to happen on the 23rd, because this goes with that topic. What you just sent, yeah, so it goes perfectly with that topic. All right, yeah, let me pull this up real quick. All right, everyone. So we're just loading up. Yeah. So before I played the video of Usyk giving his commentary or giving his reaction to the fight, I want to show you a few things. First of all, my man Usyk was in attendance for this fight. Okay, and I don't know if you see this, but you see Usyk. Look at the sneakers.
He had on the all black.
Look at the sneakers.
He got the all black ready.
The sneakers. My man was there ready for whatever they wanted to do. You see Usyk,
all the smoke.
and then you see Usyk, you know what I'm saying? Usyk was like, yo, if you ever need a 16, you know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. You dig what I'm saying? So
you better lose yourself.
Usyk was like, you ain't the only one who do 8 miles, baby. All right, so here we go. Here was Usyk's reaction to the fight, and this video appears courtesy of Fight Hub. So subscribe to Fight Hub for the latest in boxing news. All right, so check it out.
I don't think. I want it. I want sleep.
Did you think Tyson won in your opinion? Did he win fight? You don't know.
I think it's show.
You think it's show like wrestling?
See you 23 December.
Yeah.
You see?
What do you got to do to win now? Does it give you more confidence to win against Tyson Fury?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Right. Because MMA fighter knocked him down. You a real boxer.
Yeah, listen,
you can do more.
it's world champion MMA. Yeah. It's a hard punch. But element surprise. Maybe Tyson Fury not serious. Oh, it's MMA fighter. Blah 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 blah. I don't know.
Were you surprised by the knockdown?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Did you get worried?
Part of you that was worried that the
Listen,
fight
I watching knockdown. I said, whoa. Yeah. I say, Tyson, jab, move, jab. I say, stop video, please.
Usyk was about to lose it.
What are you doing? Move. Get him out of
here. Move. He was like, he's done. He's like, no, stop this video right now. I don't even want to talk about this.
For real.
Go to my man Matthew real quick.
Oh, Matthew's on the road.
Borat one.
Very nice. I'm going to take over her virgin.
Matt been on the roll. Matt was like, he had the extra double soul forces. The 6-inch forces. Matt's been on the roll.
He's wilding. All right, but I'm gonna turn it over to you, G man. What's your reaction to Usyk, man? Turning to a Fury fan, having to yell instructions to Fury because your man was looking like food in that ring. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I actually agree with what Usyk was saying when he was walking out of the arena, you know, where he's like, yo, come on. Yeah, this is Tyson Fury fighting a MMA fighter, but this is Ngannou, but I can't base my performance against Fury based upon this fight because we don't know if Fury took that fight seriously, you know, and to me, it feels like it was just a script, you know, it just feels like Fury was like, hey, man, we're just going to make a quick buck. We're going to rob the people. You know what I mean? And he just happened to get hit. And everybody's like, hold on, whoa. You know what I mean? So that kind of messed up the whole storyline. You know what I mean? But so I think Usyk's smart enough to understand that. So that's why he was just like, I don't know, man. I can't base my fight based upon this performance. You know what I mean? And Usyk understands, though, it's a business. He knows Fury cannot lose that fight. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's real or fake, bro, don't play yourself because that's going to mess up our situation. You know, so that's all that it is, man. But I don't think Usyk is foolish enough to think that Fury is going to be the Fury that he'll face for Undisputed. Like, let's just keep it real, guys, man. There's levels to this, man. And Fury was just a Fury technique to just scam the people. That's all that was.
I'm going with Complex, man. What's your reaction to Usyk giving Fury instructions on how to beat Ngannou in his professional boxing debut?
I mean, he needed to. He saw his future flying past him. Yeah, when Fury dropped, he saw the money flying out the ring. He's like, whoa, come back. He's about to hop in the corner. Like, hey, man, like what I got to do, be his cut man or something. Because he was like, look, bro, don't mess up the bag for us. Obviously, they have a huge fight. You know, Saudi Arabia is putting up all the money for the Usyk undisputed fight. And if Fury lost, then obviously there's no fight. So, you know, I mean, I'm not surprised. Usyk's a funny guy. That was a hilarious video. But, yeah, he needs Fury to be there. I think it was already – I mean, I think with the way Fury thought this is going to be easy cakewalk, so I'm going to walk through this fight and then fight him in the 23rd and run it back real quick. And Usyk was like, what are you doing? If you mistake and get hurt, you're going to mess up our fight on the 23rd. And Usyk is standing on 10 toes on that day. He's standing on business like, we fighting on the 23rd. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, Usyk was just like, look, man, I'm trying to save Undisputed because if you mess it up, now I got to negotiate with Ngannou for Undisputed. This is a whole big thing. He's like, look, man, get up, stop playing around so that I can take the belt off you. I don't want Ngannou to take the belt off you. I need to take it off you. So that's why he was yelling instructions because Usyk's like, I'm the one who wants to be Undisputed. I need you to have the belt. If you mess up, then I can't get it. So I think that's all that was. But yeah, no, Usyk didn't want to also lose that big bag of Saudi money that was coming through.
Yeah, but Complex, the belt wasn't on the line.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think the belt was on the line.
Yeah, it was only a 10-round fight.
Yeah.
Oh, this is true. This is true. But even at that, if he loses, the ore of the fight is all gone.
It hurt the value. Yeah.
Yeah, the value is dropped.
He kind of hurt the value of it already a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's already
with that performance site. We gotta be honest about that. Ned the TBE, you with us?
He's sleeping.
Yo, all right. I don't know what's gonna happen with Ned the TBE, but let me just let everybody know. Ned the TBE got his degree. So congratulate Ned the TBE. And Ned the TBE has been celebrating, and perhaps he's
I'm here. Right. And you see me. I'm ready to talk about this topic right here. I know this.
But before you jump into this topic,
pause,
right? I just want to say TB's been celebrating a little bit. So if you see him nodding off and you see my man's just celebrating his success. So all right, go ahead, TBE, man. Jump in.
Thank you. I appreciate that, yo. You know, life's been good. Life's been great to me. But yo, Usyk's just saying what it is, yo. He's like, yo, you fighting an MMA fighter. You fighting an MMA fighter. You this is boxing. It's not MMA. How you looking out for a chokehold and things like that? Fury, you slipped up last night, and you didn't do your job. And Usyk was just like, if he gotta coach you, and Usyk, with all respect to Usyk, like he was like, yo, I cut the cameras because I can't say no more. I can't say no more because if I'm going in, I'm gonna give him strategies to beat me because I know how to beat Fury. And yo, G, when it's all said and done, have my money, have my bread, have my bread.
Double up.
Listen,
Double
up. We can double. What's up? Let's double up for this fight. I still think Fury's gonna beat him.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Yo, let's bet $1,000.
Done.
$1,000
yo, Ned,
for the Usyk versus Fury fight. What's up?
Double up. I'm here. I'm charged up.
I just said it. Listen to what I just said. $1,000 bet. The Usyk versus Fury fight. You agree?
So make it 4.
Make it 4 what?
4 racks.
Yo, Ned, you don't have that.
Yo, shout out to Usyk, man. Like, because with Complex was saying, yo, he was really in there trying to save this. This is the last fight that he wants. He don't want to fight nobody else. Everybody's talking about Harvard Check, whatever his name is, and all these other people. Usyk said what it was. He don't want to fight nobody else. If it's not Tyson Fury, he's gonna retire. He wants to be undisputed. He done did everything. The dates he agreed to. They try to lowball him on the money. He agreed to everything they try to do. He agreed to. He just wants to beat the brakes off of Tyson Fury and prove that he's a fraud, yo. That's all he wants to do, yo. He wants to
like, yo, he's like, yo, what's up? Yo, Usyk's that dog. Yeah, he got the dog.
He really is. I'm riding with Usyk all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because Tyson Fury he had his best. He did his best. You know what I'm saying? If anything, if we got to give Wilder some props, because you got to say maybe Wilder, you know what I'm saying, took the last of the fight out of him. You know what I'm saying? Took the last of the fight out of Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Because that Tyson Fury that we seen, Usyk's gonna be the rabbit because he's gonna run circles around him. He's gonna run circles around him. He's gonna get he might even quit. Tyson Fury might even quit. You know what I'm saying? Because this, I don't know. But that's why I think Usyk was yelling out instructions, because he has done everything to make this fight, and everybody has dodged him, and he's just trying to be great. He's doing this for, not only is he doing it for a payday, because he was going to take the low end of the breath. He's doing this for legacy. People don't understand. There's still fighters that fight for legacy. You know what I'm saying? And want to be famous. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and want to be known as one to be in the greats. It's not all about money for them. You know, money's cool, but they worried about the legacies. Like my guy Canelo, he's under that. He's under that cloth. You know what I'm saying? When they care about the history books, you know, not just getting a good payday. You know.
Yo, put up the Dwight Howard is straight comment real quick.
Usyk is a throwback.
That's deep right there. I didn't even think about it. Yo, they called Usyk the rabbit. He took a picture with Eminem, so it was B Rabbit with the rabbit. Yo, that's deep. That's deep. All right.
That actually hits hard. You know, when you like analyze it, it's crazy, yo. But I ain't gonna get it.
Yo, hold up, Dave. Before we continue, people are wondering how you paying G when you a student. You know what I'm saying?
not paying G.
Yo, word on the street is that you're already on a payment plan with G for the bets that you already lost to G. That's what the streets are saying. What's your reaction?
I ain't on no payment plan with G, yo. G know what it is. And yo, G breaking even. I think G down. Honestly, I think G's down.
Now you're stupid, dog. You see this one? Y'all funny,
G,
man.
I picked Caleb playing against Benavidez. But after that, G don't got nothing on me. He picked James Franklin to beat Joshua. Lost.
Yo, Ned, you know I was being an idiot when I did that bet. And think about it. Think about it. How much did we bet for that fight then? $20?
No, 100.
Bet 100. All right. Yo, man, we make like $500 bets, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Why they ain't bet $500 for that fight?
Yo,
Exactly.
G.
You know what I'm saying?
We're
Like,
not
what are
gonna
you
get into
talking about?
the semantics. We're not gonna get into none of that.
Semantics.
All I'm
It's no
saying is,
semantics. Yo, listen, my G23 picks.
it's not as.
No, all my
it
G23
seems.
picks are gonna pay off. Remember,
All
I
his
told you you're paying my
G23
mortgage.
picks.
I was like, you're paying my mortgage. You know what I'm
All I'm
saying?
saying
Like,
is,
so what are you talking
yes,
about?
yeah, it's friendly bets. It's friendly
Yeah,
bets.
it's friendly to you.
It's,
You know what I'm saying? Like me, I look at
G,
you like a
want to
victim.
take my
I'm like,
pockets.
yeah,
But
why not?
when I take G pockets, he don't seem too happy. But all I'm saying is,
hold on, that.
Usyk coming for you, G.
I ever said like I'm not
Ukrainian soup. Wait, Usyk go to sleep at night. All he is Ukrainian soup. You think he's soft? You think he weak? Nah, yo. You pick Fury over Usyk, it's over for you, G. It's over for you.
Okay.
So Ukrainian soup.
Yo, Ned, man.
You gonna be Ukrainian?
Yeah, I hope Usyk isn't as foolish as you. At least Usyk understand. When he gets from Fury doesn't mean that's gonna be the Fury that shows up. All right, believe what you want,
Ukrainian soup. You're gonna be Ukrainian poop. That's it. That's done. Yo. They're gonna digest you. It's over with. It's over with. It's over. Usyk getting.
That's a fact, Alexander.
So I'll just give my quick commentary on this. Is imagine being the unified heavyweight champion of the world, and you fly out to Saudi Arabia to announce that you're going to be fighting for undisputed against the guy who has the other belt that you need to become undisputed. And as you're sitting there waiting to go in the ring and hype up this announcement, you see him get knocked on the floor by a dude who's never had a professional boxing match in his life. And you think of the millions you just signed to make to fight this dude and ask yourself, what would you do in that moment? You would root for Tyson Fury to get up and box and move and get out the way and win the fight. So it's only right. I understand that. So that's my take on it. It's completely understandable the situation Usyk was in that moment. All right, so we're gonna move on to the
next topic.
Next topic, yes, sir.
All right, well, Fury ducked Usyk after a close fight with Ngannou.
All right, word. So now this is what we will include the information that you sent, Complex. Let me just set this up a little bit. Word.
Oh man, the day after my birthday, that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Usyk, no, he hollered at me. He said, "Trill, when's your birthday?" I was like,
"I want to make it convenient for you.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make it convenient so you be all right.
You can come through. You know what I mean? Check it out. All right, so
he said, "Don't bring G." He said,
"I'm actually a cool guy." You know?
But he likes him. I like him. This dude, G, man, be wild. All right.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to mention this though. My gripe with the show was Little Baby. That dude's microphone sounded horrible. And I always complain about rappers at these boxing events. And I'm like, do they do a sound check? But the dude had like 2 performances. And the first performance, like the sound was just like horrendous. The second one, midway, they fixed it. And I'm just like, come on, man. There was several artists that performed, and all of their mics were great. Little Baby sounded horrible. But other than that, I still
yo, G, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and do this because you can't blame the microphone, bro. The microphone can't improve your ability to speak English, dog. You know what I'm saying? The little baby already be mumbling his words. So
nah, but this is all rappers. It's like literally
blaming the microphone?
Every performance that we've seen from a rapper at a boxing show, the sound is always horrible, like always. And I'm like, what is going on? Like
they be like this. They be like,
yeah. I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, he's right next to the UK performer, and that dude's mic was sounding.
Fair enough, G. What Little Baby song you like?
I don't really listen to Little Baby.
Okay, because I was going to ask you to recite some lyrics.
For what? I don't. Hey, man, you tell me.
Even if you listen to the song, you couldn't recite the lyrics. I do this to these young kids now. I'll be like, hey, what he saying? They be like, they don't know. Okay? So I'm not blaming the microphone. All right, let's move on, and we're gonna take a look at this, and then we're gonna discuss the topic. All right. So first, let me get this set up. All right. Oh, this is video. All right. Hold on, let me stop sharing this real quick. All right. Because it's video, I gotta share it a different way so you can hear the audio. All right. So as you can see at the end of the fight, as we discussed, Tyson Fury and Usyk met in the ring to do their little face-off. And you can tell Usyk was concerned about the December 23rd date, because listen to what Usyk says in this exchange. Now, I know Usyk, English isn't Usyk's first language, but you can clearly hear him say, like, December, we're fighting in December. So you got to really listen. Let me make sure this is turned all the way up. Okay, here we go.
That's enough. That's good enough.
So you heard what he said. He said, no rest. No rest. 23rd of December. I'm ready. Let's go. That's what he said. Now,
you might got a point there. Anthony.
All right. Here we go. So, all right. Now let's take a look at what Fury was saying before and after the fight. So here's what. So let me pause this real quick.
Usyk has to fight me in December. Doesn't have a choice. He signed a contract, so if he doesn't, he gets sued.
I'm gonna play that again.
Usyk has to fight me in December. Doesn't have a choice. He signed a contract. If he doesn't, he's breached contract and he gets sued.
So that was Tyson Fury saying Usyk has to fight him in December. He has no choice. If he doesn't, it's a
Usyk has to fight me in December. Doesn't have a choice.
Get sued. All right. So now let's take a look at what Fury said after his fight with Francis Ngannou.
Y'all need the kitchen.
Training camp now for 12 weeks. I put a long, tough, hard camp in. I'm going to go home, take a long, hard rest, and we'll see what's next for us.
I'll play that again.
So I'm going to go home. I've been in training camp now for 12 weeks. I put a long, tough, hard camp in. I'm going to go home, take a long, hard rest, and we'll see what's next for us.
So he went from saying he signed a contract, so the fight has to happen, to now saying that basically he's going to take a rest and see what happens. And in that time, Complex shared this with us, and this is from Michael Benson, and it says, Alexander Usyk responds to Frank Warren saying the Tyson Fury fight won't take place on December 23rd. And the quote is, Uncle Frank says some sneaky things. We have a contract that says the fight has to take place on December 23rd. Let Fury vacate his title first, then he can take his rest. Tyson, we must fight. We must do it. December 23rd. See you in the ring. I love you. All right. So I'm going to turn over to you, Complex. What's your reaction to that?
That's hilarious. I'm not surprised. I think Fury really did not take this fight seriously, and that's why he planned it this way. And like I said, we were talking earlier, and people were talking about, oh, who's going to win, Fury or Usyk? I was like, I'll take a bet on if the fight even happens. I'll take good odds on that, because I would say there's a good chance, maybe 40%, that the fight does not happen for this reason. Tyson Fury is a very sneaky guy. Tyson Fury is a very slippery, sneaky guy. When it doesn't go his way, he's going to find a way out of it. We've seen this in his history. Tyson Fury, when he's not sure or whatever, he'll find a way out of it. Now, I don't know if there's any caveats in the contract for injuries or mental or health or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a mental health breakdown and needs to take time off for whatever, right? Or they get close to the fight. Look at what happened. Even the Fury Wilder 3, they were scheduled to fight. They had to push it back a few months because he got injured or something, right? Whatever. Like Fury, if he's not 100%, he's not going to
Also,
take.
I forgot just to add, and I'll throw it right back to you. Before Fury Wilder 3, he was also trying to fight AJ. Eddie Hearn went all the way over to Saudi Arabia, got the deal, and that's when the arbitration kicked in because he didn't just agree to fight Wilder. They had to be arbitration, and then Wilder won the arbitration, and that's when he fought Wilder, and the deal with AJ didn't go through.
Fury's not afraid to go to court or whatever or delay things. And if you understand how the legal system works, people who are very litigious know how to play the game to get themselves more time. They may know they're going to lose, but they can do things to tie things up legally that it frustrates you that you may have to come back to the negotiating table. And there's a lot of examples. I won't go into that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, Fury, if he's not ready for December 23rd, he's not going to fight. And I mean, maybe that's credit to him because that's why he's undefeated. He's not going to take a fight that he doesn't feel 1,000% confident in. But I would be surprised if the fight even happens this year. I'd be very surprised if it happens at all because Fury, we don't know where he's at right now. Did Fury just take this fight lightly or is he really maybe at the end of his rope? Maybe Fury's like enjoying himself too much and he doesn't really want to train. If Ngannou gave him that kind of work, imagine what Usyk would give him. You know, does Fury really want to go through that again? Does he want to go through another training camp? He's already got millions and millions of dollars. He's rich now. So, you know, he might question, be like, you know what, F it. Or he might retire again. He might retire again and take some time off and then come back when he feels like things are good for him. So Fury, he's done a lot of different tricks in the past. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think the fight's going to happen December 23rd. I think Fury's going to do whatever he feels like. If they got to go to court, he'll go to court. But he knows that, look, we could spend a year in court or we could come back to the renegotiating table. You pick, right? Because, yeah, you might get me eventually, but that's a year or two from now, right? I can delay, all types of things. So I don't think the fight happens this year. If it does happen, maybe sometime next year. Or he might say, Fury might be like, you know what? I got to rematch Ngannou because I can't leave that close win on the table. I got to come back and fight him. Or, you know, there might be the Saudis might offer more money for the Ngannou rematch. There's a number of variables in play here. So at the end of the day, it ain't happening on December 23rd. I'll put that down right now. He ain't fighting December 23rd. If he does fight, it's going to happen sometime later. And if Usyk's the next fight, there's even doubt there. He might do something else, fight somebody else, retire, take a break, whatever. So you never know with Fury. But yeah, that fight ain't happening on December 23rd.
All right, G.
Yeah, you know, I already believe that Fury's ducking. And the reason why is because at the end of that Ngannou fight, when they talked to Frank Warren, and he had that, I don't know about that December date, and I was just like, what? And I text the group, and I was like, you know, I'm Conspiracy G, but I was like, this all makes sense now. You know, like, because I'm like, why would Fury agree to have a fight with Ngannou in late October, knowing that he's supposed to have a fight in December with Usyk? And then, you know, they're saying, oh, this is just an exhibition, but out of nowhere, Mauricio Suleiman is there. And now Mauricio's like, we're going to rank Ngannou. Like, quit the cap, bro. Like, this is all a setup to give Fury an extension, you know? So even though Usyk signed that contract, which the timing of it is even convenient, you know, because I feel like they needed Usyk to sign off to legitimize this Ngannou fight. Because if Usyk was like, yo, they're really not trying to fight me, right? Then people gonna be like, yo, Fury's certified ducking Usyk. But he agrees with Usyk, like, nah, we're gonna definitely fight afterwards. So Usyk's like, all right, cool. Usyk shows up to Saudi Arabia, all of that, you know what I mean? But next thing you know, Ngannou pulls out, you know, the impossible essentially, you know, and Fury gets injured, right? Or at least he looks injured. Like, my man's face looked beat it up. So even though they signed a contract for December, whatever, Frank, as the promoter and lawyer, he's like, yeah, that date's not happening. I'm going to believe the lawyer, you know? And so they're going to find a clause in there to be like, oh, due to doctor's recommendation or whatever, we have to push this fight back a couple of months. So it's just to give Tyson Fury more time to prepare for Usyk, which is clear. If this performance, what he did last night, is any indicator, that definitely will tell us that Tyson Fury needs that additional time to get his mind and his body right in preparation for Alexander Usyk.
All right. Dog Bill, you there?
He froze.
Ned, you there? Go ahead, Ned. What do you
I
think?
am here. Flip, flop, flip, flip, flop. If I get a chance, I'm gonna flip, flip, flop. If I got a chance, I'm gonna flip, flip, flop. Cause I'm gonna chance and I'm gonna flip, flip, flop. G, you stop flip flopping, G.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on. All right, Ned. What did I flip flop on?
You know what you flip flopped on.
I'm asking you again. What did I flip flop on?
Your fighters.
Flip, flop.
I'm gonna ask you again.
If I'm G, I'm gonna flip, flip, flop. You know, if I'm G, I'm gonna flip, flip, flop. Cause that's what I do. I flip, flip, flop. Yo, G, come on, stop it.
Yo, I don't know what you flip flop on G, but the song is catchy. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what you flip flop.
How about this, TB? How about you just prove your claim?
Yo, G, I got a history of you flip flopping, bro. Stop.
How about you? You just called me a flip flopper for my segment just now. What did I say that determined like, hey, G's a flip flopper?
Listen.
Yo, you're like
give me a second. I gotta get my thoughts together because
I know you need your thoughts together. I got you.
Yo, G,
let him cook. G, why you won't let my man cook? G,
we seen the segments. We seen how you pick, and now you saying, you saying your man needs some time. You know, you need to get stuff together, whatever. So but last time you was talking, nah. You said your man needs to get himself together. Last time you was talking, your man was gonna body bag him. Now you gotta get himself together. That's a flip flop.
How's that a flip flop?
Hey,
that's
you
a flip flop.
You see what Matthew said, G?
This is a mental beat down.
Yo, G. I'm not gonna get into it. We live. Like off air, we could go.
Yo, Ned, I promise you can never embarrass
the laundry.
Yo, right Ned, now, I promise me you can never embarrass me. So go ahead.
I'm not, but one day I'm gonna catch you. And you've been slipping, G.
So you just rhyming flip flop on a live.
Yo, G. With G, you act like you flip flop. We call you flip flop. We call you flip flop, G, for a reason. Because you switch up. But
how did
we're
I
not
switch
gonna
up?
do this. You're not gonna add the dirty laundry live.
I still think Fury's gonna beat Usyk. So how did I switch up?
You could think that.
So how did I switch up? How did I flip flop?
Now you about like Usyk this, Usyk that. No, don't praise Usyk, yo. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stick with your squad.
Usyk,
stay with your team. Stay loyal. Like you see, I'm Team AJ, and I rock with Usyk.
All right. How about this? Timeout. Right? How about I'll let you do your segment if you don't even mention me. Because it seems like you don't have anything to say.
No. G, you can't. It's like you're trying to act like the beef didn't start with me and you.
Yo, Ned,
you're trying to act like the beef didn't start with me and you. You're
Ned. Yo, listen, Ned. I don't know Usyk. I don't know Fury.
You ain't disrespect the fighters I like, and you ain't say. I ain't gonna say what I'm just gonna say right now because I don't want to even go that deep. But you ain't gonna act like you was talking Ukrainian soup this whole time. Now Ukrainian soup is Ukrainian beef. You don't want no parts of it. Like, come on now.
I never said.
Pause.
All right, can we get back? Can we get back to the show? All right. So people are saying they're having issues with the stream still. I don't know what's going on, man.
No, that's it provided. It must be a particular provider.
I feel like our stream is being sabotaged.
I see the stream y'all messing up, yo. We got some stream.
But thank you, Ned. Complex, did you go already?
Alex, you understand, Alex? Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yo, this is the other issue. G gets to choose the comments that show up. G, stop playing. stop playing because
Is there a comment you want me to show? You can just tell me which one and I'll show it.
Nah, it's cool. I don't even look at the comments because I'm just doing me. But there's been beef with me and G. And G when I call out the beef.
Yo,
G,
Ned, listen, I would
like,
be ashamed of myself if I had any type of beef with a guy like you. I promise you, bro. It's never that serious.
Hey, listen.
You see?
It's never that serious. I'll be honest.
Listen.
How can I have beef with a guy
What
that
does
pays
this
my
have to
mortgage?
do with
This
this discussion right now?
it's not.
Hold on. This entire
it's
discussion right now. Wait, this entire discussion right now. Straight up, this entire discussion. What does it have to do with Fury possibly ducking Usyk after a close fight with Ngannou?
Can I provide clarity to everybody in the audience? G and me, we that's
I asked you about Fury,
like,
Usyk, and Ngannou, and your first thing you say is G.
I rather die for my brother, but G, when it comes to my favorite fighters, he violates them. He like, yo, they ain't this. This is why we make these bets. First off, why would we make these bets if I had no problems with G? Why would we make these bets? G, fix your face. Why would we make these bets? So now I got money on the line.
Man, I just want to remind you that we are live.
I know we are live. And I'm going to keep
it like, you know what I mean? So
I'm going to keep it clean.
This isn't where you bicker with G in between segments.
G will throw a brick at my favorite fighters as soon as talking to him. He was like, yo, Ned, why you doing this? Why you talking about this like this? Like, what happened? It's like, yo, G, you know what it is. It's beef. It's beef. It's beef. It's straight up beef, yo. But that's it. Yo, G, have my money when Usyk walked your man down the road.
You are now witnessing. So for all of our supporters across the globe, you are now witnessing why it takes a while for us to release our videos.
Exactly.
We could get them done and we can get them out to you, but we had to deal with this. That's what you witnessing.
The colors that got on, yo. You see what I'm repping?
Will's
straight
ball,
Usyk.
Pause.
All right, again, Complex. Have you gone already?
I was first. It was a long time ago.
I can't even remember what happened with the whole everything.
Like this front tray is all messed up.
I saw something, yo. Honestly,
Trill's on.
All right, word. All right, Dollar Bill, you came in just in the nick of time. You missed Ned. Go. Maybe you didn't miss it. Maybe you were watching it the entire time. I do not know. But Dollar Bill, will Fury duck Usyk after his close fight with Ngannou?
If he's smart, he will retire and be like, "Hey, I left the game on top." You know what I'm saying? I left undefeated like Floyd. You know, somebody already said in the comment section he's getting $40 million from the WWE for any time for 3 years for when he appears. Man, he's not thinking about boxing right now. His mind might be somewhere else. But if I know Tyson Fury is one of those guys that like to play chess, not checkers, and I could see him running it back with Ngannou and then retiring and saying that he has nothing to prove, you know? So, yeah, I could see Tyson Fury ducking Usyk. He don't want that smoke. I've been saying this for whoever would listen. He just sees something in him. He sees something in him. He's having those SS Cunningham nightmares. He sees something in him. You know what I'm saying? He don't want no smoke with Usyk. Not at all.
All right, yeah, KTH for life, man. Salute to you, man. We apologize. I don't know what's going on with the issues with the stream. Like I've been hearing a lot of things when it comes to the channel. So I don't know. I hear like people are being unsubscribed. I don't know. You know what I mean? YouTube, who knows? But getting back with this, personally, I feel like Tyson Fury really needs to evaluate. Does he still want to be a boxer? Because at this point in time, if he steps in that ring with Usyk and he thinks it's going to be a sweet walk, he's going to be in trouble. And I think the fight with Ngannou was a rude awakening for him because if a guy making his pro debut can touch you and do you like that, then, and it's not just that he was touching Fury, but his footwork, he did a lot. Ngannou did a lot. He showed a lot of skills. So I don't want to act like Ngannou was just some bum off the street. But now you're going to be fighting Usyk. You're talking about Olympic gold medalist. You're talking about unified heavyweight champion. You're talking about a dude who's found a way to win all his fights, and he's been in there with very good fighters. So now, Fury, what are you going to do when this dude's in front of you? And if Usyk finds a way to keep tagging you, and if Usyk finds a way to, make you look bad, it's going to be a bad night for you. So I think Usyk may be on to something. Maybe Fury should just vacate that belt and let someone else fight for undisputed. And then you know how Fury is. He can do all his other endeavors. And if he feels like he wants to come back and he has the love for the sport of boxing, then he can get into a fight with Usyk. But based on what we saw, if he really, only he knows this though. Only Fury knows the answer to this. But if Fury really had a 12-week training camp where he was going 100% during his training camp, and he put on that performance against Ngannou, it may be a sign that he needs to get out of the game. And that's where I don't know the answer to that. Only Fury knows the answer to that. Only his team knows the answer to that. But that guy who fought Ngannou will not be Usyk. That's all I know. And that's where I'm at when it comes to this situation. All right. So we can move on to the next topic, which is going to be a good one.
Ngannou make the greatest debut in boxing history.
All right. Let me pull this up real quick. So here's a tweet. And so I guess what I'm going to ask you is, do you agree with this tweet? If it pops up. Yeah. So Michael Benson said Francis Ngannou may have actually made the greatest debut in boxing history. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, Complex. Do you think Francis Ngannou made the greatest debut in boxing history?
Possibly. There's a little known stat that it's not a happy stat, but of people who beaten a former heavyweight champion in their first pro boxing debut. Leon Spinks was former heavyweight champion. He fought Muhammad Ali when he was only 6 fights in, but he lost later in his career to a guy making his pro debut, and that was the first time ever that a former heavyweight champion lost to another fighter making their pro debut. Then it happened again when Roy Jones Jr. lost to a guy who's an MMA fighter, and they fought in boxing. Anthony Pettis was a former UFC champion, and he beat Roy Jones in a boxing match a couple months ago, or maybe in the last year or so. Not a lot of people know about it, but that's a second one. And it almost happened last night. It almost happened with Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. There would have been 3 times that a heavyweight champion or a former, at least has held the belt, lost to a guy making his pro debut. And that's kind of crazy. But, Ngannou, I think, really surprised a lot of people. He surprised me, to be honest. When the fight got announced, I was like, it's going to be fun, but I thought Fury's going to destroy him. I actually made a bet. I bet on Fury by points, though, and I did win. I placed a little bet on Fury by points. But I did not expect to see Francis do that well. And I think Francis shocked the world. So, I'd say probably. I can't really think of any other time where a guy debuted in boxing, like maybe early fights, who's done well. Like I said, Leon Spinks won the heavyweight championship with only 6 fights. But I can't think of anybody else making a debut and doing that well against any other boxer, established boxer like that. So he just might be the best debut. I mean, he was 1 point away from winning. I think on one scorecard, if there was 1 point the other way, he would have won. So that's pretty good.
G.
Yeah, the greatest debut in history, I'm not too sure about that, but it was pretty impressive, for your first fight. But I don't know. I think it would have been if he knocked out Tyson Fury, because then that would have messed up the entire boxing world.
Wait, G, let me interject then. If not Francis, then who can you think of done in a debut did something that incredible in their
That's
first.
I'm trying to think of one, and I don't have one.
That's what I said. I don't think you can think of one offhand.
So it's a good claim. It's interesting, but I kind of feel like to seal that deal, he would have to have knocked out Tyson Fury, and because I think then it's like undeniable. This is like by far like how does this happen, But then I guess the caveat will kind of be like, but is this really his first fight? Because this dude is a mixed martial artist, and a champion at MMA. So it's not like he's a random dude off the street who just took on boxing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like when Usyk got into the heavyweight division. It's like, yeah, it was impressive because he was a cruiserweight, but this dude was still a boxer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's like a guy that just took on the sport from nowhere. Like, I don't know. It's just a little different, But nonetheless, kudos to my man, Francois Pierre Ngannou.
What Fury said himself though, it's like a table tennis champion fighting or playing against a tennis champion in Wimbledon. So it's similar sports but different.
It is different.
Imagine a table tennis guy taking on Novak Djokovic and almost beating him in sets. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy.
But think about this. Yo, what's that dude's name? Oh my God, I used to watch him in college. Dude that looks like Caden in the UFC. What's his name, yo? What's his name?
Caden violated him. Violated him right now. Violated Caden. You are Caden. Don't violate him.
Right talk about stop it, bro. Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem. Exactly. Yo, Alistair Overeem. I used to watch his kickboxing fights. Yo, that dude was a monster. And that dude, Francis Ngannou, uppercutted him to death. Like, split his face open with a punch. That ain't like a regular dude that just showed up to boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That to me is like a decorated fighter, So it's still impressive what he did, but it's not like, there's always that possibility of real danger for Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? So it's not like a Rocky movie or a Creed movie where like they fight a random dude and out of nowhere they become champion of the world. Like this guy Ngannou had, he had enough essential skills to do something impressive. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Matthew. Dollar Bill, you want to chime in on this?
Overeem.
If Prince is making greatest debut in boxing history, no, he didn't. I think out of the MMA guys, the guy who had the greatest debut, it got to be Conor McGregor. Listen, you got to think about he went up against Floyd and made the most money. You know what I'm saying? It was a pay-per-view joint. It was crazy. You got to give it to Conor. And you know what I'm saying? That brought people against people who's been friends for years. People were beefing with each other online. You know what I'm saying? You got the chance to see how people really felt about you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, to me, I think out of the MMA guys, I think it was McGregor. You know what I'm saying? To me, that had the greatest, debut in boxing, being a non-boxer, But, yeah, that's all I got to say about that, man. But it is what it is.
All right. Ned, the TBE.
Man. I think it was fire. I don't know. I hold up. I like. Let me get myself together, because when this fight happened, hold on, no, don't not like. It's not like I didn't watch the fight. I watched the fight, but I watched the fight after the fight, and we got. Everyone was like, "Yo, damn, Fury lost." I'm like, "Yo," I called G. At first, when I called G, yo, Fury got his ass whooped. Excuse my language. I said, Fury got what? Yeah. I'm like, ain't no way this happened. I was like, y'all, give me a second. I got caught up with a lot of life. There's certain situations where you can't plan to watch a fight and life happens. But whatever, it is what it is. When I watched the fight, I'm like, Ngannou putting work on this man. And Fury don't look like the same Fury. I don't know what Fury was going on with Fury, because Fury looked like he's so confident. He knows how to box. He knows how to move. He knows what his opponents can't do, and he knows what his opponents won't do, and he's gonna beat him up. And Ngannou, I don't think Fury want to rematch with this man. I don't think Fury want to ever walk it down again. And that's why I think he was robbed. Ngannou was robbed last night. And that's the crazy part about it, because he beat the brakes off that man. There was nothing that Fury did face that man. And it's like it was a 10-round fight. Even though it was a 10-round fight, which I don't agree on, it should have been 12, because these are professional fighters. Fury should never agree to a 10-round fight, because say it's a 6-round fight and you get knocked down and you gotta get composure, and they call the fight. It's like, yo, this is a 10-round, 12-round fight. I'm going the distance. Yeah, Fury went distance, but he didn't look good going the distance. So I don't see how anybody can say Fury won this fight. But Ngannou had a good debut, and then he could stick with boxing after this. Because MMA ain't doing what they gotta do. They're not paying their fighters. And you gotta fight 10 fights. You gotta get put in a headlock, choked out, ankle cross, whatever it is, for 10 fights, and it's not worth it. But Ngannou had a great debut, and I love it. Yo, I room for this man. This is my next favorite fighter. No lie.
Bro, I didn't know where that was going. I was like, are we still on the same point?
Don't you dare say something like that about the best boxing analyst on YouTube. All right.
Also, you gotta let me cook. I took the plane off.
This has been verified by several people in the comment section complex. So you gotta chill, all right?
I saw the ingredients you were putting in, and I wasn't sure where it was going. I'm like, I don't know if those two things
it don't
go
matter
together.
if people eat it. You just gotta let them cook it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I took the plane off, but I landed it. That's all that matters. I landed the plane, and that's it.
All right. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought about this, and my answer is yes. Actually, put this up on the screen because I actually want to talk about this for a second. It says Ned got his GED. Actually, I'm the one who has a GED.
What's wrong with a GED, yo? What you saying?
I have a GED.
You know what I mean?
And then I went to one of the top schools in the nation, and I went to law school, and I became a lawyer.
No.
That's a fact. Yo, if they knew us in real life, they would shut their mouth.
So I just want to point that out. Not that she was. I mean, GED kind of gets a stigma because I remember when I got my GED, there was this one hater around who was like, "Oh, you got a good enough diploma," and I was like, "All right." And then years later, well, we don't need to talk about years later. Let's talk about.
Is he good enough? The person who said that are they good enough?
You know, I'm not that type of person. I don't want to put down other people. I just want to highlight though, like I take pride in having a GED because
he was showing love. He was showing love, Ned. He said big up. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. The other dude said Ned got a GED. Nah, I ain't got no GED out here. Don't watch your mouth.
He's the same dude. This is the same guy.
Same dude.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying it doesn't matter how you start. It's how you finish. So, anyways, and just to point out, even one of the crazy things about when I was getting my GED, just to share the story, by the way, I was in there taking a GED exam with kids who weren't even teenagers. So I was taking a GED exam, and when I was taking a GED exam, I was 16, and there were people in there taking the exam who were like 11 and 12 years old. And I was thinking to myself, wow. And then I found out like they were going on to be doctors and stuff. So, all right. Anyways,
crazy.
Huh?
These comments are crazy, man.
So let's get into this though. When I think of people like the greatest debuts in professional boxing, I think you got to give it to Francis because you're talking about his first fight is against the active lineal heavyweight champion, current WBC heavyweight champion, I mean, he was the Ring Magazine champion. I don't know what happened with that. Tyson Fury is undefeated. Tyson Fury has a victory over Vladimir Klitschko, and he beat Vladimir Klitschko at the peak of Vladimir Klitschko's reign, when Vladimir Klitschko was reigning for about 10 years in the dominant heavyweight in the division. So if Francis Ngannou would have won that fight, it would have definitely have been the most impressive debut in the history of the sport of boxing. Trill's right in terms of the money aspect and the revenue generated. Conor McGregor made the most impressive boxing debut, without a doubt. But if you're talking about impressive in terms of degree of difficulty and in terms of performance, Conor McGregor never looked like he was in control in the fight against Mayweather. Some people were getting excited, but if you know, you know. We all knew Floyd was going to beat Conor, and Floyd was letting Conor gas himself out, and then Floyd knocked Conor out. So in Conor's professional debut, he got knocked out. But in Francis Ngannou's professional debut, he actually dropped the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. And he actually had the lineal heavyweight champion of the world looking confused. Like, that to me was shocking in itself to see. So when you look at that performance, I think Ngannou showed himself, like, Ngannou legitimately is a threat to heavyweight contenders, not just Tyson Fury, but I think Ngannou would give Dillian White that work. I think he would give Joe Joyce that work. I think he definitely would give Chisora that work. And I think he got a good chance against AJ. He got a good chance against Wilder. When we talk about Conor McGregor, he'd get smoked by Paulie Malignaggi in a real boxing match. Like, you said no. No, he said
no. Paulie lost a bare knuckle boxing match to one of Conor's training partners. So Paulie,
I didn't know that. You know what? You're right. I'm giving Paulie too much credit.
Yeah, don't use Paulie. Say somebody else, but not Paulie.
You're right. I do think he would beat Paulie. Now that I think about it, didn't he drop Paulie?
Honestly, like this? There's training footage of him giving Paulie work.
I didn't give Paulie that work. You know what? Paulie, not Paulie. But my point is, you know what I mean? That's his level. His level is Paulie. He can beat guys like Paulie. But if you throw Conor McGregor in the ring with like Jerome Boots Ennis, you're going to get cooked. And we're not even talking about throwing him in the ring with Terrence Bud Crawford in the best of the best around his weight class, right? Whereas Francis Ngannou was actually in the ring with the best, one of the best in his weight class. And he did what he had to do. So to me, Francis Ngannou made the most. I can't think the degree of difficulty. First of all, the average man can't even get sanctioned for that fight. The reason why Francis Ngannou was sanctioned for that fight is because of his history in combat sports. So you'll never see an average man be able to make a professional debut like that. Even the great Vasily Lomachenko had one fight before he fought Orlando Salido. And Vasily Lomachenko was gold medalist and 300 amateur wins, and he still didn't make his professional debut against a champion, an active champion. So, and if you look at what's up, bro?
Oh no! I was gonna finish saying you cook, because then I was just remembering where I was hearing you talk about people making their debuts. Another person had a great debut that was crazy and it was wild, and it was against Floyd. He lost also, but Logan Paul. That was crazy too. We had it was. I'm talking about numbers.
Think financially,
about numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think financially, Conor McGregor had the greatest boxing debut.
Yeah.
But when I think when people are like when you talk about skill set and actual ability and competing against an active fighter, I think it's you got to give it to Francis, because Floyd stopped Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor, to me, as someone who was watching it, never really was in control of that fight.
Exactly.
Whereas Francis, to me, won this fight on my scorecard. So, like, to me, that has to be I watch a man in his professional debut beat the lineal heavyweight champion. And so, to me, I think basically, go ahead, Complex. Yes, I'm saying.
No, I just want to make a quick point. I think also one thing about Francis is what I'd call a super athlete. Francis is a genetic freak of nature in terms of his ability to perform at the highest level of any physical capacity. I think there's certain human beings that are on the planet that are like that. And I don't think a lot of them go into boxing. And I think we saw with somebody who takes the time, who's got that kind of genetic ability, goes into boxing and what they can do. There's guys like, imagine somebody like Ray Lewis if he had taken up boxing instead of football. There's guys in the NFL right now, even somebody like LeBron James, who's like 260 and can jump at his age still jump through the roof, right? There's certain guys that it's just because boxing's not as big a sport and doesn't pay as well as these other sports, you don't see people get into it. But I think if you saw some of these guys, I think we'd be much more surprised about who's really the baddest man on the planet or whatever. Tyson Fury,
guys like that in rugby and
rugby, they play other sports. They don't get into boxing. If they all were to start from boxing from a young age, I think we'd see a completely different landscape, especially at the higher weight classes. At the lower weight classes, when you're, if you're like a 5'4" dude and you weigh 160 pounds, you can't get into boxing because, you can't get into football because you're not going to get paid. But you can get into boxing, you get into combat sports because there's something for your size. So that's why we see smaller guys usually as better athletes in their weight class. But in heavyweight, all those guys are playing other sports. If we saw some of those guys come into boxing, I think we'd see a completely different sport, a completely different, landscape. So I just wanted to point that out as well. I think Francis, one thing we don't give him credit on or forgetting is that this guy's a special athlete. I think he's not. If his life was different from the young age, if he started training in anything, I think he'd be incredible. I think he'd be doing anything else if he was training, but he happened to take it on when he was in his 20s. So I just think that his athleticism played a huge role in this as well.
No, exactly, and that's the point that I was saying when I was saying everybody fights. So it's more about the athlete. When you talk about can an MMA fighter go into boxing and be successful, it's an individual basis. It's not like, all MMA fighters would just go into boxing and dominate. Nah, you can't generalize. It depends on the athlete's skill set, right? Because I think of Chuck Liddell from back in the days. He used to be a good striker, and I'm like, Chuck could probably give some people to work in boxing. But then if you have someone who's more known for submitting and taking people to the ground, if you put him in a boxing ring like Ben Askren, whatever his name is, he's not known for striking. So if he can't take you to the floor and he can't use his best attributes, he's going to lose in a boxing match. And there's some boxers like Terrence Bud Crawford, for example. He was a wrestler growing up. So if you take Terrence Crawford and you throw him in the octagon, he's not going to be too out of place. He got the hands and he can wrestle. So that's where I'm saying it really depends on who been. So it really depends on the fighter. So yeah, I think you're right about that. But I do think he made the best debut given the degree of difficulty, his performance, and he has the boxing world buzzing, man. That's why I said I want to see him in another boxing match because I feel like he showed so much potential, and I think the world wants to see what he can do. Someone said, did you see Better BF Punk Bivol? That's not a shocker to me. All right. Look at you. All right, what's the next topic?
All right. Next topic. Is Fury the best of his generation, or was he overhyped for beating an overrated Deontay? Whoa, man! I don't like that.
Let's get it.
Finish the statement, G. Finish the statement, yo. Is Fury the best?
I know. You should just stop reading.
So it's time for us to have a real discussion while we have Complex here. Is Tyson Fury the best of his generation, or was he overhyped for beating an overrated Deontay Wilder? Complex, let us know the answer to that.
I mean, like I said, I don't know how Wilder's catching strays. Yeah, nothing to do with this. Wilder's at home like, what'd I do? What the heck? What's going on? All of a sudden, people calling him. I do think Fury's the best of this generation. I do think because not just for beating Wilder in that exciting trilogy, but he also beat Klitschko he's the first man to dethrone Klitschko after his long reign. So those two things alone make him the best of this generation. And the thing is, when you look at the heavyweight division, a lot of these guys, you'll see somebody go on a win streak and then lose, a win streak and then lose. Give it to Tyson Fury. He hasn't lost yet, right? I mean, every time you think somebody's coming up, you saw Joey Joyce at one point, people were clamoring for him to fight Fury, and then all of a sudden he runs into Zhang. You got guys like what's that Polish dude who was on a win streak and then he lost? He ran into the Viking dude. My point is this: is that in heavyweight boxing, it's very hard to stay undefeated. There's always you're one punch away from being finished. And Fury, to his credit, has stayed undefeated, and he's beaten some of the best that the division has had to offer. Now, does his performance last night, will I use that against all his other wins? No. Obviously, that's one fight. We don't know how he came. If he has any more performances like that, then yes, absolutely, I would make that judgment. Last night could have been a fluke. It could have been any number of things. In terms of his, wins over Wilder, you can say what you want to say, but Wilder, to his point, was undefeated to a while. And like I said, it's hard to stay undefeated when any night a guy can have a good night and take you out with one punch. So Wilder, the fact that he was able to go that long, and people want to say, oh, they were cab drivers or whatever, these all guys were ranked heavyweights who had wins against other heavyweights. So, say what you will about that, but Wilder was undefeated when he fought Fury, and they had their trilogy. So, I don't think it's easy to stay that long. Anybody can string together a couple wins, but to stay undefeated for 10 plus years is very, very hard. So I do think Fury's the best of this generation. What I do think is that Fury's overrated in the overall landscape of boxing. I think, like I said, putting him in the pound for pound list is crazy to me. After beating Wilder, who Wilder was never on the pound for pound list, but he outweighed Wilder, and somehow they still put him on the pound for pound list. That's crazy to me currently. Then two people, and Fury himself said he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, and he'd been every heavyweight. I don't think Fury would have lasted in the 90s and the 80s or the 70s. I think Fury would have been gotten up out of there. I think the guys were different back then, and I don't think he's in the, let's say, top. He's not in the top 10 greatest heavyweight champions to me, Fury. He may be in the top 20, but I can definitely name 10 heavyweights in history who are better than Fury and who I would have picked Fury to beat Fury overall. So I think Fury's overrated in the grand scheme, but in this current generation, I think it's fair to say he's the greatest. The Usyk fight might change that, but I would pick Fury over almost everybody else fighting right now. I haven't seen anybody to show anything different. So I don't think he's overrated for right now, but in the grand scheme, he's definitely overrated.
All right, G.
I kind of disagree with Complex on this one. I would have to say Fury is the best of this generation. Reason why is because Fury did dethrone the unified champion that was reigning for 10 years, which was Klitschko, and so after that, he came back to boxing and he beat the guy who was reigning for 5 years as the WBC champion, who we seen knock out pretty much everybody he was in the ring with, Now, I know some people in the comments are saying Usyk, but Usyk, to me, only really beat AJ. And AJ does have some impressive wins, but AJ did lose to Andy Ruiz, So I don't know. It's the guys that AJ beat, he was supposed to beat him. Just like the guys Wilder beat, he was supposed to beat him, right? I haven't seen, when I see Usyk go up against Fury, then I could make the full, examination of saying, that person is the best of our generation. But based upon the guys right now, the roster that we have right now in the heavyweight division, and based upon their resumes, I have to give it to Fury, And so, and I don't believe that Deontay Wilder was overhyped or overrated or anything like that. I just feel like, Tyson Fury's style is just difficult for a guy like Deontay Wilder. That doesn't mean that Deontay Wilder isn't a dangerous fighter for anybody else. It's just Tyson Fury was just better that day, or those days. I still think that Deontay Wilder should have won the first fight, but hey, Jack Reese is Jack Reese. You know what I'm saying? So because Tyson Fury showed in 3 fights, you know, you just can't deny the guy, man. You got to give him his credit. So I'm gonna give Tyson Fury his flowers. And as of right now, I got him number 1 as the best heavyweight fighter in this generation.
Okay. Dollar Bill, you want to jump in on this? Why you seem to be available?
All right. Shoot. I mean, listen, man. I don't have like the yearbook answers like my guys and them. You know what I'm saying? Because oh man, what are we judging? This is whack. Listen. No, I don't think so. I don't think none of them are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, what are we picking? What are we giving? 5th place ribbons? I don't know. Nobody.
But
really
so the question is of this generation.
This something we can say about. Of the generation, I don't even think it's done yet.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, G, but I ain't rocking with the question. I think my answer is only as good as the question. You know what I'm saying? And do I feel like is anyone should we be talking about like right now? Look, like there's something to say about everybody, right? Because look at this is how I feel. All right. We're giving Tyson Fury credit for fighting Klitschko, right? And the most boringest fight ever in the history of boxing. It was horrible. You know what I'm saying? It was mainly a hugging match. It should have been an MMA fight or a WWE fight, all the hugging and stuff that was going on. And he's ducked the smoke in a rematch. You know what I'm saying? When we know what Steel Hammer was going to do. Then, you know what I'm saying, we put him in there with, look, my thing with Wilder, everybody know Wilder was my guy. Before everybody was hyping him and jumping on the Wilder train, I really liked the kid because I loved the story. I knew why he got into boxing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know Trill love the kids. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter, how he got into boxing to provide for his daughter who was disabled, it touched me right here in the cortisone. You know what I'm saying? So I felt for him. And I was rooting for him. And I would tell my brother, I said, he's the next one. I said that he's going to get a championship. And lo and behold, he did. I remember the best fight I ever seen him fight was the first fight against Stavern. And I was hyped on him. But I knew what it was. I knew it was a young man who got into the sport late, you know? So when everybody was saying, you know, the Tyson Fury, and then this is like his biggest, they would say Wilder was cherry picking. Well, Tyson Fury was cherry picking too. Because you got somebody that was been boxing longer and all this stuff, and he beat Deontay Wilder. And everybody's saying, oh, we was dissing Deontay Wilder like Deontay Wilder was just straight garbage. But you got to look at it. He did good for somebody who hasn't been boxing his whole life. And he still dropped the guy who was supposed to be that guy. You know? So that goes to show, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you have him going against and fighting all the older guys that AJ already beat up. Now you got him fighting these geriatric fighters and these guys that, you know, they already got stuff messed up. That's like calling him the Logan Paul of boxing. Because you messing with these guys who's already older, who already took all these punches, who already is shot worn. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time for a real test in Usyk, and he's ducking. This is like, it's obvious that he's ducking. He doesn't want no smoke. And now I'm just supposed to say he's the best fighter of this generation? Come on, you got to help me out a little bit. Throw some more stuff at me because I don't see it. I don't see that none of these guys have, then you got AJ. AJ done fought everybody. His resume done fought the who's of who's. You know what I'm saying? He goes up against a tough, talented guy like Alexander Usyk that nobody can beat. We ain't even see him in. You tell me a situation that Usyk had a Fury type of fight. We hang on. Oh, he looked like he got hurt with Shishora. He looked like the punches was moving. And anything to say against this guy who showed nothing but excellence. But still, I'm not even going to say he's the best heavyweight of this generation because I haven't seen him in there with Tyson Fury yet. I seen him in there with AJ. He got the three of the 4 belts. But if he even knows, he knows that this is going to help his legacy if he takes this guy out. He knows what it is. He knows he needs Tyson Fury. And I honestly think Tyson Fury needs him too. We talk about greats and all this stuff. I've been telling y'all, brothers, these guys ain't it. I grew up with the real heavyweights that were fighting everybody who wasn't scared to let their L go. These guys are trying to make all types of money and ducking and dodging. It's not what it is to me. That's all I have to say. I don't know who the best is. I haven't seen it. I'm not feeling this generation of heavyweights. I'm just not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Until these guys really get in there, then I can say. You know what I'm saying? But I love Alexander Usyk. I think he's the man. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nobody messing with him. But I can't just give him the victories. He got to go in there. He got to earn it. All these guys everybody's always giving everybody the victories and they ain't even stepping there and fight. Oh, Wilder knock out Adrian knock out Wilder. How the hell do y'all know? We don't know. Until these guys get in there. Everybody's giving people victories for fights that they ain't had. Oh, I know he did that because he did that to him. You can't do cross-fight comparisons. So we don't know until these guys get in there. And these guys are so scared to go in there and lose that we know. I don't know. I don't have an answer. And I don't think so. No, I don't feel like he is. I'm sorry. Sorry for my little rant. I'm just not feeling this division. I'm not feeling this, man. I'm not feeling this. You got the little guys, the ants, out here putting up all the fights. They're making the fights happen. They're making the fights happen. Stop me when I'm lying. And we're still waiting on these big monsters, these guys. No, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. No, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with these guys, man. They need to drop down to middleweight.
I don't want to give the ants too much credit. We waited 5 years for Spence Crawford.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about
saying,
they
didn't have any
issues
too.
I'm talking about the Devons. I'm talking about the Tefimos. I'm talking about
they
the
starting now though.
I'm talking about the Canelos. I'm talking about a lot of other fighters.
Canelo's not an ant, but Devin and all them guys, they starting to do it right now with Shakur and Devin and how many people avoided Shakur?
You don't gotta apologize, man. It's the bros' fault. It's the bros. They the ones that got me all hooked and amped about this heavyweight divisions. I've been telling them, leave me alone with the heavyweight division. It was Caden, it was G, and it was Ned, and it was Complex, and Mo. They all got me hyped on this heavyweight.
Just to throw, we saying like I think you made some like really great points, but I do think that what you're pointing out is very true. And I'll dive into that. But Ned the TBE, what you got to say?
Man, Fury's not the best of this generation. One thing I want to hone in on is we want undisputed in the heavyweight division, and Wilder held it up, AJ held it up. So many things happen. I'm not gonna put it on the other fight. Fury held it up. Fury held it up.
I didn't even know he was gonna be in here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but Fury held it up too. So it's like, is he the great? If Fury can come in and say he's the greatest generation, no, he's not. He hasn't really proved himself. He's fight bums. He's fight more bums. Fight bums 3 times, and it's like, how do you expect us to respect that? Like, are you serious? And now you fight an MMA fighter and you get whooped out, and now you think you're the greatest of this generation? You win it. What up, G? No, G, I don't want to hear it.
I'm just asking the question.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Let me cook. Tell me after this segment. Now, go ahead, G. Go ahead. I can't disrespect you.
Nah, I'm trying to understand why you and Trill just can't answer the question. Like, if y'all don't think he is, then is he overrated or overhyped?
Overrated.
I guess I have to explain it. Yo, so Tyson Fury and his fans say he's the best heavyweight of this generation. Mm-hmm. No one here has proclaimed that he is the best of the generation. The question is based on Tyson Fury's fans and Tyson Fury's own claim that he is the best of his generation. So what this question is asking is this claim valid, or were they just overrating Tyson Fury based on his victories over Wilder? It's really not that deep.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused by the answers. I'm like, yo, what, can we just answer
That's
the question?
what I was getting to. It's already overhyped. AJ did the same defeats you did. He beat a champion Klitschko, but now all of a sudden, like, you know, you beat Wilder, like you're the biggest and baddest man in boxing. Like, who's Wilder fought? Wilder fought nobody. Argue it against me. I want to know. But
I don't think Klitschko was a champion when AJ beat him.
But he still beat a talented Klitschko. Did Wilder beat Klitschko? Who's Wilder's best win? Hold on, G.
Yo, Ned, don't do the Caden talking points, bro. Just stick to your stuff.
Who's Wilder's best win? That's all I want to know. Because this is what I'm
irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. You're trying to make it irrelevant because you want to.
No, I'm just talking about based upon what you just said. That you said AJ beat a champion Klitschko. Klitschko wasn't a champion when he fought AJ. They fought for a vacant belt.
Still known as a champion. Like
no, I respect that, but I'm just clarifying. That's all.
Wilder ain't beat nothing close to a candlestick, and that's it. But is Fury a
Hold on, I gotta say that was real passive aggressive of UG.
Yeah, it was. It's like why you acting like that? But all I'm saying is,
I don't know what
we know the real. We know the real. We know who the fighters is out here. We know. I wouldn't say this about Mike Tyson. I'd be like, Mike Tyson's the GOAT. Like Mike Tyson the GOAT. You know, I know Ali the GOAT. I'd be like, Mike Tyson is a GOAT. I give him his praises. I'm not gonna give praises to fighters who ain't do nothing that really changed the sport of boxing. They're sitting out here barking at each other. You playing games. Fury played too many games for you to give him his flowers and be like, yo, I look up to you as a fighter. Like, no. When you look at little kids and they be like, this is my favorite basketball player, my favorite football player. They do things different. Fury don't do things different. Fury be like, damn, Fury, like, why you keep playing around too much? You teaching these kids to play around, doing all this. For me, honestly, I don't think Fury in the top 10 boxing's greatest of all time. He ain't do much for me to respect his game and skill. Yes, he's talented, but I don't respect Fury at all.
No, Ned, y'all just keep adding on to the question that has nothing.
I'm adding on because I don't respect this man's game.
But that question doesn't say of all time. It says of this right now, this generation.
Well, all-time generation, whatever. No, I don't respect it. I stand on that. If Fury, you want to knock on my front door, I'll see you.
Oh, okay, G Unit.
All right. So I just want to jump in. First thing I want to address is ducking. Ducking happens in every weight division. And I'll take it to 135. Shakur Stevenson was supposed to fight William Cepeda. William Cepeda wanted no smoke. He was supposed to fight Frank Martin. Frank Martin didn't want any smoke. Devin offered Shakur Stevenson the chance to fight him at a 75-25 split, and Shakur could have got all the belts. He didn't want to fight Devin. So that happened at 135. We go to 140. There's some things going on there. 147, it took Earl Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford 5 years to fight each other, right? And so in every weight class, there's these fights that we want to see that we don't get. And it happens throughout the history of boxing. But in boxing, the glamour division, the heavyweight division has always been and needs to be the division where everybody fights everybody. So even if you go back to Ali, for example, when in Ali's time, there was Joe Frazier, there was George Foreman, there was Ken Norton, there were all these guys, and they all fought each other. And this is why I said I really do agree with what Trill was saying, because if you look at it, Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. Then Muhammad Ali went and he beat George Foreman. This is why you can't do cross comparisons. Joe Frazier has a dub over Muhammad Ali. George Foreman doesn't. Now Ali went on to beat Joe Frazier in a rematch, and they had a trilogy. But again, this is why you can't do the cross comparison. So when you say Fury's the best of his generation, based on what? This what Fury's best wins. Fury's best wins. Klitschko, Wilder. We'll add Chisora and White. But if you go to Anthony Joshua, his best wins: Klitschko, Joseph Parker when he was champion, Charles Martin when he was champion, Povetkin, Pulev, White, Andy Ruiz. Now, he does have 2 L's to Ruiz and Usyk. But has Fury beat Ruiz and Usyk? No, he has not. So how do we know that Ruiz and Usyk wouldn't beat Tyson Fury? Based on Tyson Fury's performances, his performance last night, would it be out of question, or is it out of the realm of possibility to think Ruiz may be able to beat Tyson Fury? Is it out of the realm of possibility to think that Usyk might be able to beat Tyson Fury? Well, if it's not out of the realm of possibility, how can we say that Tyson Fury can beat these guys? He hasn't. So what makes him great? Greater than Joshua. In addition to that, he hasn't beat Joseph Parker, Charles Martin, Povetkin, Pulev, like Anthony Joshua did. Okay, moving on, we have Alexander Usyk, who beat Anthony Joshua, Chisora, and Dubois. Now, I'll give it to Tyson Fury. He beat Derek Chisora 3 times. Kudos to him. So is everyone else. There's so many people with victories over Derek Chisora. But 2 heavyweights Fury hasn't beaten are Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois, the same way that Usyk did. So now my question would be, how do we know that Tyson Fury can beat Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois? They're both very talented heavyweights, and you saw Dubois gave Usyk some trouble and landed the borderline punch on Usyk, where if that punch gets called differently, the outcome of that fight may have been different, and we're probably talking about Daniel Dubois as a champion. But again, Fury hasn't fought Daniel Dubois, so we don't know. So now we have these good fighters in Fury's generation that he hasn't fought. He hasn't fought Joseph Parker, Charles Martin, Povetkin, Pulev, Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and Daniel Dubois. So we go to Deontay Wilder's best wins. Deontay Wilder's best win is Luis Ortiz, another fighter who Tyson Fury hasn't fought. And you go to Ruiz's best wins, they're Luis Ortiz and Anthony Joshua. Again, Fury hasn't fought these guys. So to go back with what Trill was saying, how can you make the argument that you're the best of the generation when you haven't fought the best of your generation? Even if you think Deontay Wilder is one of the best of the in the generation, it's only one victory. It's one person, and he fought him 3 times. Go ahead, Complex.
Sorry, I hear your point, and I agree to a certain extent, but also I think anytime you're rating a fighter, there's a certain amount of objectivity that goes into it, because there's no way that everybody's going to have everybody else's record, right? It's not like the NFL. Even in the NFL, every team doesn't play against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, but they never played the Chargers that year, well, are they better than the Chargers? Well, I don't know. If they played the Chargers, maybe the Chargers would have beat them or not. I don't know, right? There's a certain amount of objectivity. It's really a look test, because you don't know who's going to win. And I think based off of looking and seeing, particularly dominance, right? If a fighter is dominant, the reason why Wilder was held in such high regard is not because necessarily who he fought, but how he dominated all of them, right? Same thing with Klitschko. Klitschko wasn't fighting at a time when there was a ton of great guys. I mean, some of his best wins, Klitschko, were not that great, leading up to the Fury fight. But he was dominating guys, right? So I think it's the dominance and the performance. The reason why I'll give Fury the nod for greatest right now, just based off of it, he hasn't fought everybody. If he fought AJ, if he fought, Usyk, the story might be different. but because of his dominance in those wins, he dominated Vladimir, right? It was not even close. He completely shut down Vladimir. And then to an extent, he dominated Wilder in fights at the very least. He looked very good in all three fights, but in fight number 2, he dominated Wilder. In fight number 3, he had a gritty comeback win within that fight, you know? So I think it's the look and the feel of the fighter in the ring is why we judge him that way. So that's why I personally say. So I hear your point about, you know, the records not being identical, so you can't really say, but I think it's the performance and who he fights and how he beats them is important to say as well.
My response to that would be, although every team in the NFL doesn't play every team in the NFL, there's this thing called the playoffs. So at some point, the teams with the best records have to play each other in a tournament, a bracket-style tournament that leads to 2 men standing and them fighting each other to become, or 2 teams standing and them playing each other to become the number 1 champion. Well, in this scenario that I just made, the top fighters, the playoff teams would be Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, and Andy Ruiz. And the reality is, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or if you win by blowouts in the NFL, right? As long as you make it to the playoffs, and once you make it to the playoffs, that's when what you're doing actually matters, right? So, go ahead, G.
I just asked a question. Why'd you include Andy Ruiz on that list?
Because he beat Anthony Joshua and he beat Luis Ortiz, which is Deontay Wilder's best victory. So if Andy Ruiz shouldn't be on that list, then Deontay Wilder shouldn't be on that list.
Yo, to be honest with you, I was gonna actually suggest that, based upon what you were saying, I would remove Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz from that list then.
For me, Andy Ruiz is on the list because he beat Anthony Joshua, who was the unified heavyweight champion, and he is the former unified heavyweight champion of the world. Deontay Wilder drawed with Tyson Fury, who is the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, former unified champion of the world. So I do think they belong on this list. I do think that they are, if we're going to say the best of the, they're in the top. They're cream of the crop. So it's a short list. But my point is, if you go by, say, like the NFL, every team doesn't play each other, but the best teams make it to the playoff and then they play each other. Let's do that with boxing. We have the boxing playoff. And in the boxing playoff, Joshua has played against Ruiz twice. It's 1-1. He's played against Alexander Usyk twice. Usyk won twice, right? And Fury has played against Deontay Wilder 3 times, 2 wins for Fury, 1 for Wilder. Now, Fury has never played against Anthony Joshua. Fury has never played against Alexander Usyk, and Fury has never played against Andy Ruiz. Ruiz has never played against Wilder, never played against Usyk, never played against Fury. Wilder has never played against Joshua, Usyk, or Ruiz. You have a scenario where these guys have never faced each other for us to be like, for us to know who's the best. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and those are all great points, but there's another thing in boxing where the business side of boxing makes things difficult. Like, perfect example, Wilder and Ruiz, right? It would make perfect sense for them to fight. But I mean, I don't know if you guys have talked about, I'm sure you have, but from my viewpoint, Ruiz has been trying to price himself out of any fight. Ruiz is talking about, I want $10 million, whatever, right? So it's hard. It's hard. My point is this: it's hard to have an objective viewpoint of greatness with other fighters when sometimes it's hard to even get guys in the ring against each other because of the way boxing. At least in NFL, you can't say I'm not playing this team unless you pay me X amount of money or whatever, or it's got to be under these rules, or you got to sign this deal to fight me or whatever. It's very straightforward. In boxing, it's not as straightforward at all. There's a number of reasons why fights don't happen. So it's hard to say like, well, he didn't fight this guy, he didn't fight that guy. I mean, you got to look at the whole picture of it, right? So, like I said, I don't think there's a right answer, basically, is my point. I don't think there's any one way or another that you could say what determines a better fighter. Ultimately, they have to fight. That's the only way, right? I do want to see Fury and Usyk fight so that we can have an undisputed, because they are the final 2 men standing. But I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk could beat Fury, and then he could fight Wilder and get flatlined. It's completely possible, right? So
that's the point,
right? Yeah. So I don't think there's one. I think
that's the point that I'm making.
Okay. Well, I think it's just each person's personal objective. I think it's very one. There's no one size fits all. Everybody's gonna have their own objective. What makes a fighter great?
But to that point that I was making, and I think you may have been. I don't know if you were. For example, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier lost to George Foreman. Then Muhammad Ali went. He beat George Foreman. Then he went and he beat Joe Frazier twice in their trilogy. So that propels him forward as the best of his generation. Although he has L's, and he went and he avenged his L's. So he always made sure he leveled them off, with the exception of like Trevor Berbick, for example. But come on, he was, and Larry Holmes. But the point is, again, Ali in his prime and in his time, he did enough against the elite opposition to propel himself forward. And my argument with these guys is they don't fight each other. So it has to be left to interpretation because they don't get in the ring to settle it. And I understand what you're saying, where you're saying like promotional companies and networks, because every promotional company is tied to a network, which prevents from happening. So, Ali lost to Norton lost to Foreman. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's you can't always do the cross comparison. So it's very plausible that Usyk could beat Fury and then lose to Wilder. And then again, we'll be sitting here saying, but we don't get to see that because they don't fight each other. And that's the problem. And that's the issue. You can't name someone the best of their generation if they never stepped in the ring with the other great fighters of their generation. And that's our problem with the current state of boxing, particularly in the heavyweight division, which is the glamour division for the sport. Fury has only fought Wilder 3 times. He fought Chisora 3 times. He's never fought Usyk. He's never fought Ruiz. He's never fought Joshua. So how can his fans make the argument that he's the best of this generation? How can someone because he beat Deontay Wilder? Well, how many times was Anthony Joshua given the opportunity to beat Deontay Wilder? How many times was Usyk given the opportunity to beat Deontay Wilder? How many times was Andy Ruiz given the opportunity to beat Deontay Wilder? The answer is 0.
Why you keep bringing up Andy, dog? You know Andy ain't supposed to be on this conversation.
I think Andy Ruiz would beat Deontay Wilder.
Why you do this, man? All right, whatever.
Now what? Now what?
Yo, you just doing this, man. You don't believe that, yo.
No, it's bait. Don't listen to Kaden. That's bait.
I don't believe Kaden.
I got the Wilder attorneys here on the screen. But my point, nonetheless, is instead of us speculating, I wish we knew. This is a fight that they were trying to negotiate or whatever that didn't come to fruition, right? We shouldn't be speculating this. We should be about to find out. That would create the excitement, but that also would give us more clarity on who's the best of this generation. So I have to say that Fury is not the best of this generation, and he was overhyped for beating Deontay Wilder. Not that I'm personally saying that Deontay Wilder isn't a good fighter, or that but you can't rate someone the best because they beat one guy twice. To be the best, you have to beat everyone. And so
can I just play devil's advocate here?
Go ahead.
Forget about Fury, but let's look at Usyk. Because to me, I would say Usyk is debatably the one of the best or the best in the generation because he did dethrone Anthony Joshua not once but twice.
Mm-hmm.
With Andy Ruiz, I think he got lucky with that punch with AJ, and he lost in his first defense. And all his fights after that, when it was Areola, when it was King Kong, these were like close fights for Andy. That to me, I thought he lost both fights, but the judges scored it in his favor. But nothing that he's done in his career said, "Oh my goodness, Andy Ruiz is that dude. He's the top of the division." You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be honest, even Wilder, right? And you know me, I like me some Wilder. But based upon the level of opposition, you could be like, hey, man, like, would I put Wilder above AJ or Wilder above Fury? No. But whatever Wilder did, Fury inherits because Fury beat Wilder. So the two guys, it makes sense. Fury and Usyk, they will determine who's the best of this generation because they beat, you know, essentially the top dogs.
Again, I don't think you can just give Usyk that. Usyk has to beat Fury, and Usyk beat AJ twice. But to me, that's similar to Fury beating Wilder twice. You showed you can handle AJ style, but now you have to show you can beat everyone else. And I think that's the problem with the division right now. I think if we had these cross fights, you will see some surprising outcomes, just like we saw Francis Ngannou surprise the world with what he was able to do with Tyson Fury. I think if you made these fights, you would have some amazing outcomes. So Rachel says, I've been trying to get on the live for an hour. The chat refreshes, but the screen stays frozen. I'm sure I'm missing out on a great show. Wow. You know,
Rachel,
I'm
man.
telling you, there's been a sabotage job.
Eddie don't like how y'all talking about
bro.
AJ, man. Eddie
Yeah.
don't like that. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, it wouldn't be Eddie sabotaging this live. It would be Team Fury. I think someone reported our live or something to try to get us in trouble. I don't know. Maybe it was what's his name? The dude who we clowned earlier. I don't know. But Rachel, it's nice having you in, and I'm glad that you were able to get into the stream. Everyone's been having issues with the stream apparently. So
but Katie, let me ask you another question. What happens if, let's say, Usyk beats Fury, but then Usyk fights Wilder and loses to Wilder? You know what I'm saying? Like, then how do we rank this stuff? Because to me, it's like, hey, man, styles make fights. And
yes,
it can happen. Anybody could beat anybody any given day. So, like, determine the best based upon, you know, the total. Is it the total amounts of wins or who's just the current champion? Like,
so that's what makes the sport of boxing. So to answer your hypothetical, if Usyk beats Tyson Fury, he would become undisputed champion. And then if Deontay Wilder beats Usyk, he would dethrone Usyk and he'd become undisputed champion. Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. Now you would have Usyk, who has victories over Anthony Joshua and over Tyson Fury. He would be responsible for bringing all the belts together. Then Wilder would become undisputed by just beating Usyk, right? Now my thing would be, can Wilder beat Anthony Joshua? Because if he fights Anthony Joshua and he loses to Anthony Joshua, to me, I still would rank Usyk over him because Usyk beat Fury and Joshua.
Gotcha. Now,
you see what I'm saying? That's why they need to fight each other for us to get this. I feel like because I do want to know if Usyk can beat Wilder. I do want to know if AJ can beat Fury. I do want to know these things. It helps us make the determination of who's the best of this era. But as long as you have Fury and Wilder on the left side of the bracket, and then you have other people on the other side of the bracket like Anthony Joshua and Usyk. It doesn't help us make a determination of who's the best in the generation.
Y'all ready for the next topic?
What we got?
All right, next up, your boy Eddie wants AJ to fight Fury or Ngannou next. Eddie's a
whose boys? Who's boy?
I was just being funny, man. You know what I mean?
It's a complex boy.
Yeah.
I say after this, we just go to the Showtime.
Yeah, got you.
In the live.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to take a look at what Eddie Hearn had to say about this, and then we'll discuss it in great detail. All right. So let's take a look. All right. So here's what Eddie Hearn had to say.
was a slight exaggeration. I mean, the event was great.
Yes.
The production was incredible. You had one guy that's never boxed before fighting a guy that also looked like he'd never boxed before in Tyson Fury. I mean, I can't believe what we were watching. Like a complete novice in everybody's book just beat Tyson Fury. And Ngannou won that fight.
Wow.
He dropped him. I mean, they did very little in the back end of the fight. But Fury looked like, you know, I mean, you talk about the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. The Usyk fight, for me...
Wait. Before you go in, hold on, relax. How surprised were you when we all saw that knockdown?
Yeah, but I watched it back. It didn't even look like a big shot. I don't know whether his resistance is going. Listen, respect to Francis Ngannou. He stepped in the ring. He's never boxed before. I still think he gets beaten by many levels below that, but respect to him.
Yeah.
But, you know, forget Fury Usyk. Forget it.
Really?
Usyk, yeah, because, listen, one, Ngannou just beat him. You got to give him the rematch or let AJ end Fury's career. 6 rounds is all we need there.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, we'll never see that fight. But if Fury has to fight Usyk, let AJ deal with Ngannou. 3 rounds is all we need there.
So you're willing to take either?
Ooh, 3 rounds? All right.
Oh, the fight. We never expected to even mention Ngannou's name. He earned that right. He beat Tyson Fury tonight. And I see people thinking Ngannou will beat Anthony Joshua. Just watch. Make that fight and see what happens. 3 rounds is all we need. But if we want to fight Tyson Fury and end his career, that's not a problem either.
But hold on a second. As far as we know, and based on the post-interview, the fight against Usyk is still on
but we
for
all
the
know.
end of 2023.
Everyone, no one, Usyk on that showing, mismatch.
Really?
Yeah. And listen, I know Tyson Fury will get up for certain fights differently, but, you know, I've always wanted to see AJ Fury. I've always believed AJ beats him. I'm so confident now. 6 rounds, the fight's over, he stops him. But I feel for Francis Ngannou because really, you kind of should also make Fury and Ngannou rematch. But then I don't know if the Usyk fight's actually contracted. What a mess. What a mess we've made of boxing tonight. But what a spectacle.
All right. One last video and then we'll discuss it. All right. Let's share it. Here we go.
I'm buzzing for Anthony Joshua because the heavyweight division got turned on its head tonight. And I believe he's going to beat them all. Call me deluded, call me a fanboy. He knocks out Tyson Fury, no problem. He beats Deontay Wilder, no problem. And he definitely knocks out Francis Ngannou. So take your pick, 2024. The big boy's coming. I'm buzzing for Anthony.
TBE 2024. That's what Eddie Hearn's talking about. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Complex. What's your reaction to what Eddie Hearn had to say? And do you share his enthusiasm for AJ's chances against Fury and Ngannou if they were to fight next?
Well, as my UK brethren might say, he's talking shite, right? And he's talking shite. I mean, he's a promoter. He's promoting his guy. That's his job. But he's clearly talking shite. I mean, he can't be serious. You know, AJ needs to fight Wilder. I don't understand what's going on and why the fight hasn't been signed yet. That is the fight. I don't understand what is going on with both these guys. I saw Wilder put out a video saying, like, come on, let's make this fight. That's clearly the fight for these two guys. All this other stuff is just talking shite. None of that matters. You know, this is the fight that needs to happen for both of these guys' careers. You know, to me, I think AJ is not long for this sport, and I think Eddie is trying to find a way to cash him out. Cash cow out for the most money possible. I think the reason why the Wilder fight got put off is because I think the Saudis were going to put up a big bag, but then they decided not to. So now they're like, well, we don't want to take the Wilder fight unless there's a lot of money behind it. So he's looking at other fights that, hey, maybe there's more money behind a Fury fight or an Ngannou fight or whatever, but he needs to fight Wilder. That's the fight that's supposed to happen. You know, I think Wilder ices him. You know, I think Joshua right now is in a bit of a crisis of confidence, or I don't know what, since his last Usyk fight, right? When he got on the mic and he started talking a little crazy after the fight. Then what was his next fight? He had the fight against the dude who worked in a warehouse or something, and he didn't go 12 rounds with him. I'm serious.
Jermaine Franklin, you know it's Jermaine Franklin, man.
And doesn't Jermaine Franklin work in a warehouse?
I
Yes or
don't know.
no?
I can't confirm or deny
Okay.
that.
So, anyways, he went 12 rounds with that guy. Then he went 7 rounds with the Viking dude. I'm blanking on his name, but Wilder iced that dude in literally 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So this is the performances that AJ's been putting up, and it's just been kind of grading downhill. It hasn't been looking great. He's winning, but they're not looking great. Then you got what was I gonna say? AJ, I think also didn't he just leave another trainer? Didn't he just leave what's his name?
No, they still together. They still together.
Oh, I thought
the picture with them with Derek James the other day.
Okay, because I thought he left Derek James, but he's been changing trainers. You know what I'm saying? So he's still, I don't know. I think Joshua is not mentally in the right place. I think he physically probably still has all the tools. I just think he's mentally not all the way there, and I think his promoter probably knows that. And it's like, look, we got to get the big one out that we can, or because if he fights Wilder, there's no belt on the line. There's no, you know what I'm saying? It's just for bragging rights. And if he loses that one, especially if he loses that in a spectacular fashion, it looks really bad on him. I mean, if Wilder was that easy, he should be chomping at the bit to fight Wilder because that's a great name. If you can go and finish Wilder, especially after Fury fought him, then that's going to only help you more in the next fight. But clearly he doesn't want the fight. So that speaks more to me than anything. So, but at the end of the day, what's his name is just doing his job. But I don't want to see AJ fight anybody else except Wilder. He's already fought Usyk. Ngannou is new to the scene. I don't need to see that fight happen right now. And Fury needs to fight Usyk. That's the fight. Fury fights Usyk. Wilder fights AJ. Then however that shakes out, the winners can fight or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Or something, or another contender can come in. But I'm not trying to see, let's stop Undisputed and have Fury fight AJ. Why? How does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. If Fury's going to fight anybody, it should be Usyk for Undisputed, or at worst, which is not as good a matchup, but Ngannou rematch. That's it. Fighting AJ makes no sense. So I think Thing's just doing his job, but no, AJ versus Wilder is the next fight. Make that fight happen so the fans, we can finally. It's already been aged out, man. Like, come on, it's been years. It's almost getting to a point where I'm starting to not care. Like, you give it another year, who cares who won? It doesn't matter. So far gone. Wilder hasn't fought, I think, over a year now. When did we go to Brooklyn? Like last year? So
yeah, no, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. You know what I mean? It's like, honestly, this is why box is killing itself, and that's what we're talking about Showtime. The fact that you got a guy like Wilder on the shelf not fighting is just criminal. You know what I mean? Like, an exciting guy like that, he should be out there racking up knockouts so that people have something to watch. But it is what it is. Boxing stays shooting itself in the foot. But yeah, no, AJ versus Wilder should be next.
All right, G.
Man, I feel like listening to Eddie just proves that boxing is like the Illuminati, man. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say this is because, like, Ngannou comes in, and next thing you know, now WBC's pivoting. Eddie Hearn sounds like he wants to pivot and set up an AJ versus Ngannou fight when everyone knows AJ should be fighting Wilder, But it's like, hey, where this is an opportunity here, that benefits everyone, the zone, it benefits Top Rank, it benefits everyone to have a new face in the heavyweight division. So that's why I felt like this was a script, the Fury versus Ngannou fight, because the controversy is going to sell several other fights. Now, Eddie just is providing AJ another lifeline. What if AJ does fight Ngannou? And I'm be honest with you. I believe what Eddie Hearns is saying. I think AJ is gonna run through Ngannou, But I also believe that Fury will run through Ngannou in the rematch. I just feel like Fury. Like, I just don't believe that fight. So I just feel like either he didn't take it seriously or this is all a script to sell a rematch. Because if Fury really put it on to perfect example when Floyd Mayweather talked about the Conor McGregor fight. There was like an interview where Floyd actually talked about essentially saying he carried the fight. And I'm like, why would Floyd carry that fight? You know what I mean? But the way Floyd's mind works is like, yo, I gotta carry the fight just because I want to do a rematch. I need to make it competitive because I want it to count on my record. I want this, that. You know, he's understanding the business of boxing. Eddie's doing the very same thing because Ngannou dropped Fury. And look, when Eddie said, I thought the same thing. I was like, was that hook that strong, like that powerful to drop him? But it necessarily doesn't even matter if it was. The fact that Fury fell was like dollar signs for Eddie Hearn, you know? And so if I was Eddie right now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And again, y'all know me, I'm Team Wilder all day. But if I was Eddie, I'd be like, yo, clearly AJ doesn't want to fight Wilder right now. So let me try to get this Ngannou fight popping. And then maybe after the Ngannou fight, then we might visit the Deontay Wilder fight. You know what I mean? Because again, I'm trying to milk this guy for as much as I can before he finally says, y'all have enough with this sport, whatever. You know what I mean? So again, like this just seems all like a perfect setup for everyone to eat. So salute to Ngannou for providing more blood to be sacrificed in the division.
Bro, are you available to give your take on this?
I apologize. Look, Eddie being a smart businessman. That's how I look at it. Shoot, if I had a fighter like, I'm like, yeah, put my man in there next to get some bread, and you know what I'm saying. Especially if you feel like I heard Eddie. I was watching. Oh, shout out to Usyk Foster. Shout out to him last night. Had a great victory. Got a late stoppage. He was down on the cards, and he needed a knockout, and he got it.
That 11th to 12th round of that fight was fire.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? That was a great fight. So shout out to Usyk Foster. Yeah, man. Eddie was saying, like, you know, he believes that AJ would take him out in 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? He's excited. He want to make that fight happen ASAP. You know, look, his guy is AJ. That's his guy. That's who he promotes. That's his heavyweight. So why wouldn't he? You know, he was definitely, like G said, he was seeing dollar signs. I ain't mad at him. Dude, if I was Eddie and I could make that happen, go ahead, because everybody's going to want to see what AJ can do against him. And I guess there's already going to be, you know, a big bag that could be made. And, you know, especially Ngannou did good. He had a good showing. He dropped the guy with all the mouth, you know, the guy that was talking all the trash, he dropped him. So now it just leaves the gate open now, you know, and who could have a better performance. That's basically what this is. Who can have a better performance against Ngannou? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to, that's what they're selling. That's what they're selling us to the public. You know what I'm saying? Which one of these guys have a better outing, you know? And the price is high. It's $100 a piece. So that's how I feel. I'm not mad at Eddie.
Eddie doing Eddie-like things again. First of all, he's like, oh, Fury got beat by a complete novice. No, he didn't. Francis Ngannou was not a complete novice. He's not some dude who just picked up combat sports, 6 weeks ago. He's a former champion in mixed martial arts, and he used to do kickboxing. Like I said, you can pull up the YouTube videos. So that's one thing. Did Fury look great? Did he look like a fighter people are going to run from? No, he did not. In fact, he looked very vulnerable. And the Fury fans may not like to hear this, but let's talk about how the Fury fans critiqued AJ after his fight with Jermaine Franklin, the guy who works at the warehouse. How they criticized AJ's performance with Robert Helenius. How they criticized Usyk's performance with Daniel Dubois. So now that people are criticizing Fury's performance with Francis Ngannou, the Fury fans want to get mad. But the reality is Fury did not look good. And of all the people we just named, his performance was against someone making their professional debut. So Fury looked vulnerable. That's the reality of the situation. And when he says that he thinks AJ can beat Fury, I think people been wanting to see that fight for the longest time. Francis Ngannou doing what he did, like I said, he's hot right now. People want to see what Ngannou can do. So this is a new option that has presented itself that people are going to take a look at. But before y'all try to get mad at AJ or other people for entertaining Francis Ngannou, Deontay Wilder was the first one. Remember, there was a picture of them dapping each other up, and it was rumors that they were in negotiations to potentially fight each other. Go ahead, Complex.
I heard Francis Ngannou said they were in negotiations to fight, but Wilder said he has to fight AJ first because him and AJ were already gonna have a fight. So he's like, after I fight AJ, then you and I can revisit this conversation. But Wilder was
for that because you just brought me to my next point. What a coinky dink, right? Oh, he's in negotiations with Francis Ngannou, but he can't fight Ngannou. Wilder can't fight Ngannou because he got to fight AJ. But then he's sending offers out to Andy Ruiz, but then he can't fight Andy Ruiz because Andy Ruiz doesn't want to accept the 70-30 split. And Andy Ruiz is saying, I beat AJ and I beat OTs too. So what's good? And Wilder's like, nah, man, some reason I'm bigger and badder than you, so I should get 70%. So it doesn't work out with him. So
these heavyweights are different.
So now somehow his fight with AJ also isn't going through. And so now you got Wilder who couldn't work out a deal with Ngannou, couldn't work out a deal with Ruiz, and couldn't work a deal out with AJ. But for some reason, the Deontay Wilder apologists seem to think that the people to blame are Ruiz, AJ, and Ngannou just fought Fury. So I don't think Ngannou was worried about him. AJ done fought more threats than Deontay Wilder. So personally, I don't think AJ's the one to blame. And Andy Ruiz stepped in last minute to fight AJ. So I don't think Andy Ruiz is afraid to fight Deontay Wilder. I just think he's worth more. He feels he's worth more than what is being offered to him. But I pointed this out about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is very good at making videos, calling out everybody, then saying everybody dubbed him and fighting fighters like Helenius. And I predicted this in a video. Just go on the tape. When we were talking about Wilder calling out Andy Ruiz, I said he's going to call out a bunch of people. And when the fights don't come through, he's going to fight another mediocre top 50 type opponent and claim that he had to fight this dude because none of the other fighters at the top would fight him. Think about this. What sense does it make? He was going to fight Ngannou, but then he told Ngannou, I can't fight you because I got to fight AJ. But he sent an offer to Andy Ruiz after that. And then they couldn't reach a deal. So now he's going to fight Anthony Joshua. Now you have Eddie Hearn saying, all right, man, this isn't working out. And now he's sending a video, to win in a court of public opinion. Deontay Wilder is sending a video like, come on, AJ, we can make it happen, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this money. The same kind of video he made Andy Ruiz. Go ahead, G.
All right, to come to Wilder's defense.
Oh, what a shock.
Hold on. The reason why in that Wilder video is only because Eddie Hearn publicly said out loud that he wants that fight to be in 2024 when everyone knew it was supposed to be in December of 2023. So he was like, Wilder just said, come on, AJ, don't make me look like a liar to all my fans. We said 2023, let's make the fight happen. That's not Wilder's fault, bro. Like, if AJ has the wheel, you know what I mean? Like, he's controlling everything. Wilder's like, yo, what's good? Let's make this fight happen. But AJ's in the woods somewhere, like, crying to himself. It's not Wilder's fault. You see what I'm saying? Now, I can give you the Ruiz situation. Like, it's how you interpret it, right? Me, I don't think Andy Ruiz deserves 50%. So if I was Wilder, I'm not giving you 50%. You know what I mean? But I do believe it deserves a 60-40. Wilder offered them 30%. They should negotiate to 40. If they can't get to that, hey, Wilder, if you could just go with Ngannou, just go with Ngannou. But I understand Wilder's like, yo, my highlight, my career fight would be Anthony Joshua. I want Anthony Joshua. There's nothing wrong with that, man. So it's like you're making it seem like Wilder's like not fighting for a reason.
Am I making it seem or am I just saying facts? Like, tell me when I stated a lie. Wilder.
No, the lie is you're implying that it's Wilder that's not allowing the fight with AJ to happen. and it's really AJ. You know what I mean? This is AJ coming in that. It's not Wilder.
Oh my god. Oh my
Yo,
god.
yo, like Compass, am I bugging?
You're not. I just don't feel like going into it, Kaden, right now.
Yeah,
I just don't feel. I wanted to interject, but I was like, you know what, Kaden? Because what Kaden is leaving out is what is matters in everything. Is a lot of context, right?
Exactly.
He's saying these particular points, which are in by themselves not wrong, but he's leaving out a lot of context. But of course, that
context as it pertains to what? Like the reality is, Deontay Wilder has been in negotiations for 3 fights that haven't come to fruition. That's a fact. I didn't make that up. And when we talk about Tyson Fury, we call Fury out for that. We call Fury out for when he does this. We call Fury out for when he did the same thing with Usyk. I was right here calling Fury out. So I'm the person who remains the same with everyone. I keep the same energy with everyone. I don't think Deontay Wilder actually intends to make these fights. I think he intends to sell a bill of goods. I think he intends to win in a court of public opinion. But when it comes time to make these fights, he's going to end up fighting Helenius again in a rematch. That's what I think.
I'll disagree for this point. If that's the case, Wilder could have been fought somebody else in that time. It's been a year since he fought Helenius. Even the Helenius fight, I was against it. I didn't think he needed to fight Helenius, and obviously it was a waste of time. But in any other event, Wilder could have been fighting any number of guys right now. He could have been making quick paychecks the last couple of months while calling people out, but then fighting somebody else. That's when you really don't want to fight. Because if you're calling somebody else out, but then fight somebody else, that means you never really wanted the first fight. Wilder at this time, it all makes sense. He was talking to Ngannou, and at the time, Ngannou didn't have the Fury fight set up. So he's like, okay, yeah, this sounds like a cool, maybe fun fight, but in reality, I'm a boxer. I want to fight another boxer, and I already have a deal. At the time, the deal was AJ Wilder in December, or almost on the same card as Fury Usyk. That was supposed to happen already in Saudi. Then that fight fell through. So then Usyk, by that time, already had the Fury fight. So how can you revisit Ngannou already had the Fury fight. So how can you revisit Ngannou when Ngannou just got a deal with Fury, and then the AJ fight fell through? Now with Andy Ruiz, you can say that Andy Ruiz, however much that, it's up to your interpretation how much he deserves. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to actual, the money split is not about what you've done in the ring per se. It's about the business side of it. Wilder's the bigger name by far and away. Wilder sold more pay-per-views. He's had bigger events. So Wilder's like, I'm not splitting with you, especially you're not a champion either. And what's more is, I don't even know if it's per se the split of revenue. It's the guarantee. I think Andy wants a higher guarantee. Because Andy was like, they were offering me the same money that they offered me guarantee for the Ortiz fight. And he's like, I feel like I should be moving up instead of going backwards. But bro, that fight didn't sell. Your fight against Arreola didn't sell. So what are we talking about? So you want to get, 50% of the revenue of this fight? And then even there was another time he was like, I'll take 10 million. Yeah, I'll take 10 million. Like, bro, there is, and this is the other thing with even the Showtime thing when you talk about the money in the sport isn't like how it used to be. I think fighters are going to have to start realizing that the money that was there a couple of years ago, like in the pandemic when everything was whatever, it ain't there like that. So fighters are going to have to take some of these fights and not get the same payday that they were expecting that they before. You can't just assume that I'm going to get these 10, 12, $15 million figures like that, when like the zone first came in the game and they'll just throw money left and right. The game changed. So, Andy's got to get realistic. Now, if it's just a percentage-wise, 60-40, sure, whatever. But I think if that was the case, it could have been done that a long time ago. Wilder's proven in the past that he's willing to take less pay. He will take a 50-50 split against Fury. He'll do those kind of things to make the fight happen. But I don't think Andy wants that because Andy hasn't fought anybody else either. Andy hasn't done anything. Andy's like, look, until I get the money I want, I'm sitting out. So, anyways, this whole thing is besides the point.
Everything you're saying sounds like to me, right? Back when I used to sell merchandise, someone would come up to me and be like, if you let me just get some of that merchandise, I'm going to take this merchandise around the corner and then I'm going to come back with more people and they all going to come and buy your merchandise, right? And I would be like, get the hell out of my face. That's what sounds like to me. It sounds like a whole bunch of crap because at the end of the day, if you want to make the fight happen, you can make the fight happen. When guys want to make fights happen, they make fights happen.
Another example, interject. Zhang talked to Andy Ruiz, and Big Bang Zhang was like, Andrew Ruiz is unrealistic right now. The money that he wants is ridiculous. I think even Fury said the same thing. So that's a common point against different fighters saying Andrew Ruiz is pricing himself out of fights. Andrew Ruiz set himself a high bar. Now, he can feel that way, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't blame those other fighters that if Andy doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to fight. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, for me, the fight is Wilder versus AJ. And the ball's in AJ's court. If the fight, like you said, if they want to make the fight, they can make it. Why can't it happen in the UK and Wembley? You don't think they'll sell it out? Why can't it happen in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand or whatever? It'll be a big fight no matter what. But if Wilder's clearly saying, I want to fight, it doesn't seem like Wilder's, pricing himself out or whatever. Wilder's like, look, I'm trying to make this fight happen, so let's do it. But why is AJ not wanting to fight now?
How about this? Why don't we just move on and leave it like this? I'm not interested in who's at fault. Although, for the record, like I said, Wilder, which is a fact, he's been in negotiations with 3 people.
You just made a whole argument why it's Wilder's fault.
I just stated a fact, like I said. I just stated a fact, and then y'all made arguments. Wilder's been in negotiations with 3 fighters, and he hasn't fought any of them. That's a fact. I don't care what you say. Ngannou, Ruiz, and
AJ.
Yeah. So, I'm leaving it at that. Whatever it is, it is. But I'll put it to you like this. If AJ wants to fight Ngannou, to me, no one should be saying, oh, why not fight Wilder? Because Wilder was originally in negotiations with Ngannou because he wanted to fight him. If Wilder chose not to fight Ngannou, you can't argue like, oh, he did it because he thought he was going to fight AJ. Yo, if it's not a signed deal, then you can do whatever you want. You already know that. So don't sit there and try to tell me that Wilder avoid fighting Ngannou because he didn't have a signed deal with AJ. That's just dumb. It's just dumb. So I'm not even going to entertain that. Like I said, what you're trying to talk to me like I'm some idiot. Like you're trying to tell me like, oh, give me this merchandise and I'm going to take it around the corner. Bro, a bird in the hand is a bird in the hand, fam. I'm not giving you the bird in my hand and then thinking you're going to come back and give me 3 more. Nah, fam. If he could have had the Ngannou fight and he didn't have a signed deal with AJ, he should have taken the Ngannou fight.
No, hindsight's 2020.
I said that's just facts,
no,
bro.
Before last night, the Ngannou fight looked like a joke. Now that Ngannou did
after that is just pure nonsense, bro.
Look,
let me just ask G real quick. Honestly, bro, are you turning down a fight with Ngannou for a fight that hasn't been signed yet? Real talk.
Now, no.
Now,
before,
no.
probably. Because it's like, who the hell is Ngannou? You see what I'm saying? But now that he dropped Fury, his stock went up. So it's a little
okay. So now that his stock went up, this is ridiculous, man.
How is it ridiculous? You know, this is a business, man.
Hey,
this is a boxing.
Let's move on to last topic. I can't. Y'all are crazy.
You funny, man.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all are sitting here acting like you don't understand contracts, and you just going to turn away a business opportunity for something that you ain't signed and something that isn't concrete. That's like pie in the sky. I get it. Pie in the sky, man. We turning down real food for pie in the sky. Got it. All right, man. Let's do the show. Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah, it's the last one, man.
Y'all.
Oh man, y'all. That's what I go through every week. You know what I'm
last
saying?
part we're gonna discuss boxing, bros. It's Showtime leaving boxing. Okay. All right, so I'm turning over to you, G. What's your reaction to Showtime leaving boxing?
All right, so I can see the positives in this, but to me, I think boxing is going to take a major hit. But I think within that major hit, it's a good thing, or it could be potentially a good thing. This is the issue with boxing. And this is where UFC is probably looking at boxing like, I told y'all so. It just costs too much to host these fights, these cards. You know, you're paying fighters like a Deontay Wilder X amount of millions. You're paying guys on the undercard X amount of thousands or whatever. And so, you know, these Showtime budgets or even HBO had it and everything. You have a set amount of money for the year for their entertainment, their sports and entertainment, right? And boxing takes a huge chunk of that budget. And certain fights, it requires a pay-per-view just to make their money back. But the problem with boxing is the best don't want to fight the best, right? And so because you'll have a high-paying guy that has a contract where you have to pay them X amount and it's guaranteed for them, now you have a problem because the customer doesn't want to pay for that fight. So the pay-per-view sales are constantly declining, but these fighters are still demanding their guarantees. Now, if you're a part of this network, you're like, how are we supposed to make money? That was a major issue with the Earl Spence TC fight. The networks were like, we don't see this being a lucrative production for us, you know? And so because they have to spend so much money on these fighters, what happens is they finally go, you know what, enough is enough. We can't afford to host boxing anymore, right? But now where the silver lining, I think, is because of this, hopefully, PBC will be more willing to work with, let's say, DAZN or Top Rank, and maybe Top Rank or DAZN could absorb PBC if PBC can't find a new home, and that way we have fewer promotional guard dogs, preventing big fights. You see what I'm saying? But I think there needs to be a real conversation about, pay versus fights and pay-per-views and things of that nature. And people just have to be realistic. Like, hey, if you're fighting a big name, then we'll pay you, X amount. But if you're fighting a nobody, I don't think they should pay you a top dollar. Like Canelo, some fights that Canelo have, I'm like, how did Canelo get paid for that when, like, Canelo be getting paid like $30 million to fight like a nobody, essentially? That's outrageous. You see what I'm saying? And so these promoters have to eat that cost, and it's not fair to the promoters. But at the same time, that's the situation you have to do when you're trying to get a guy like Canelo to fight under your umbrella. So it's just difficult altogether. I feel bad for Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I have Showtime, and now that Showtime's no longer doing boxing, I don't know if I'm gonna keep my Showtime. But it is what it is, man.
Man, you're gonna keep your Showtime, man. Because you got Paramount, man. This other stuff. Hey, Dollar Bill, I don't know if you all right. I'll throw it to you, a complex.
Yeah, no, I agree with G said. Ultimately, for these networks, what it comes down to is your return on investment, right? They're in the viewership business. They're trying to get people to watch their channels. And ultimately, the money they invest in it and the amount of views that come back is what determines if they're going to continue something. Now, the fact that HBO left boxing and now Showtime's leaving boxing, which are two premium channels, and HBO is still getting into live sports because on HBO Max you can watch like live soccer and some other things. So it's not that they're getting out of sports completely, but they're getting out of the boxing business. Why? Because boxing is not bringing enough eyeballs to it. Boxing, it's not going to die, but boxing needs to reinvent itself. There needs to be much more better competition in the lower levels. Now, at the highest level, sure, when you got the Fury and Ngannou's, when you got the Wilder Furies, when you got the AJ Ruiz, big fights, people do turn in, a Floyd Mayweather fight. Those are big fights that people will tune into, but you need at the lower levels, they need more competition. Guys got to fight each other. You can't just have somebody like what's his name? Shakur Stevenson. He's had all these like kind of marquee fights, and I don't know he's on ESPN, but like, all these kind of marquee fights where he's not really fighting anybody. He's at 135 and he hasn't fought anybody yet at 135. You know what I'm saying? Or for example, even on Showtime, some of these guys have had, these headlining fights, but they haven't really fought anybody, and the casual fan doesn't know who they are. So it doesn't really help to bring eyeballs to the sport. So, I don't know. I think PBC is going to be okay. I think there's a deal potentially with Amazon, from what I've heard from the rumors. And I think Andre Berto even said don't ever count it against Al Heyman because he's like, oh, Al Heyman's already got something set up, so maybe we'll see. But I just think that the sport needs to do more to bring in casual viewers. It needs to be much more accessible as well. This might be a good thing because Showtime's behind a paywall, HBO's behind a paywall. At least ESPN, for the most part, you get it. You get ESPN, you can watch it if you're with your cable. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. The average person can watch it, but behind the cable, then behind the premium subscription, and then again behind a pay-per-view, it's not accessible. And the trouble is, boxing tries to everything is like a fire sale. It's like, let me get as much out of the consumer as I can. Let me squeeze them out as much as I can before moving on to the next thing. So every event is like, how much can I squeeze out of this lemon? As opposed to let's just make a continuous set amount of fights that are going to build up, that are really good, that people are going to watch, and people will catch on the train as it goes along. Every fight is because guys are just trying to cash out. They want to have the undefeated record. They don't want to fight unless they can win a belt, one of the many belts, in one of the many weight classes. So it's hard for the average fan to follow. So I just think there needs to be more accessible. I think fights need to be much more, even we need to get away from the idea of a loss ruins your record. Because in MMA, there's guys with 5-6 losses and they still got huge fan bases. Because if you just yeah, but no, even within each promotion, right? Each league, there's guys who have losses by the end of the day because they know this is all the best fighting the best continuously. So even when you win the belt, it means much more because you're like, yo, you had to come from behind or a couple losses or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it for a better storyline. So oh, it's not. What did you say? Is the stream done? Is blank? I don't know. But anyways, long story short, yeah, I do think that boxing needs to change, but I don't think it'll die. But boxing needs to change to bring in more casual viewers.
All right, dollar bill, you with us, my brother?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's Showtime, man. I'm actually heartbroken. I witnessed great fights on Showtime. Some heartbreakers, and in Showbox After Dark, all those, man, that brought all new faces and all that. I got a chance to hear what y'all brothers was saying, man. I agree, man. With a lot would that happen. Fighters not fighting each other. Everybody was trying to hold their own. A lot of boxing fans and everything. But I really don't not going too hard on boxing fans, and they say, because I know what it is like. It depends on how you lose in boxing. It's not really doesn't matter about what I'm saying, or how many losses. Because look, we got Gabe Rosado with you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's how
Eric Chisora.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's what you give the people. If you're just gonna go down and just lay down, you know what I'm saying? They going, you know how that go. But there's been some warriors in boxing with some L's on there. You know what I just think it was, man? It's just the time. It's timing, man. It's just the time. A lot of these fighters ain't fighting each other. Money, a lot of that stuff ruined the sport of boxing. But I think that boxing is going to be okay. I think it hurt Showtime with these fighters not fighting each other. They was losing money. They were overpaying fighters. This whole narrative of the fighter needs to be compensated and this, that, and the third. I agree. Fighters do need to be compensated, but it has to be reasonable. You know what I'm saying? These guys was getting millions and millions of dollars for fighting nobody. At one time, we was like, that was cool. We was saluting Al Heyman for that. But then it became a little crazy. We was like, damn, they getting this much for this. That's kind of hurting the sport. Now these guys is going.
No, sorry, just want to say, you make a good point. I saw Troll Baiter's comment, and it's kind of true. HBO, he was getting guys paid on HBO, and now they left boxing. Showtime, he's getting guys paid. They leave in boxing. Fox deal. To be fair, Al Heyman is a great promoter, but every relationship has not worked out well.
It was a lot of spoiling, I think. A lot of spoiling going on, and these guys was getting paid crazy amounts of money for not good fights. So then when the good fights was coming to be made, these guys wanted extra more bread. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the problems arise. And that's why these guys wasn't fighting each other, because they would say, shoot, we can still get some M's fighting these nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fighting each other, and the money just wasn't there. And I think that's what happened. A lot of fighters got spoiled. A lot of things happened, man. And it just sucks that Showtime is not there. Man, I wish it was back in the days, when it was on ABC, NBC. I wish there's stuff like that. Boxing can go back to those days. You know what I mean? Because it's getting ridiculous. I don't know. And then you're not even being able to see the up and comers and stuff like that, man. It's got a whole lot of straightening needs to be happening. A whole lot of straightening, man. But it is sad. It is a sad day, man. That Showtime is leaving out of boxing. Because now what's next? We're gonna go to FS Sports One, something like I don't know where they gonna show. Where they gonna show? I don't know. It's just sad.
It's actually great, and you will see. Sports are changing. Television is changing. If you look at it, people are cutting the cord. So people aren't. So back in the days when you wanted cable, they had to come to your house, they had to hook it up, or use satellite dish, and you had to pay for a cable box. People are streaming.
What are you trying to say, Kaden? We gonna get the PBC app?
Nah, I'm saying PBC is gonna go to Amazon Prime. Amazon, like I put it to you like this: people automatically see change and think that the change is happening because of failure. Is the NFL failing? No, the NFL is a successful product. Right? The NFL is now on Amazon Prime. If you want to watch Thursday night football in America, you have to look at football on Amazon Prime. Do you think the NFL is going out of the business? Do you think networks did it? No. The reason why football is on Amazon Prime is because Amazon Prime is trying to increase their sports package. Amazon Prime also added the Bleacher Report, which is you get with HBO Max. So if you order HBO Max through Amazon Prime, you can get the Bleacher Report, which allows you to watch NBA basketball games on Prime. So now you can watch the games that come on TNT and on you can watch that on Amazon Prime. You couldn't do that before. So another thing you can do on Amazon Prime now is you can order NBA League Pass, which allows you to watch every single NBA game. And you weren't allowed to do that before, back in the day. So what I'm trying to explain to you is Amazon Prime is evolving and trying to beef up their sports package. And they're doing that to be competitive with go ahead, bro. You about to say something.
No. I was just going to throw something back at you. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying with those packages, but they also have homes on regular networks alongside those, Amazon Primes and all that. That's what I was saying about with the boxing. I get what you're saying, like, it's elevating and moving forward into the future. I get that. But these guys still, like with boxing, with football and basketball, they still got a home on regular TV, not just with Prime. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was getting at. Like, that's why I feel like it hurts. I would love, like I said, I would love to have it be on like ABC and NBC, like how they do basketball and football as well.
No, I feel you, but remember, that was a new thing. Originally, when boxing was on HBO, you only watch boxing on HBO. It didn't come on Fox.
I'm talking about way before that, before HBO. It used to be on ABC. Sugar Ray Leonard.
And then I'm saying, and then it transitioned to boxing only being on HBO and on Showtime. And then they made the move back to boxing, going back to that's when PBC made their deal. And that's what I'm saying. Boxing is forever evolving. So when people make it seem like it's a bad thing, boxing is just changing with the times. Again, the reason why Amazon, hey man, anyone talking about the stream, that we apologize. We've been hearing it all day. I'm sorry. But
yeah, I just checked. It's working. So
I think it's different.
Yeah, it must be something.
Where you're at. It's where you're at. Because like people were hitting me and saying it goes in and goes out, even in here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so I hear what you're saying, bro. But like the Dwight Howard said, I'm not even gonna say everything. Like boxing's a niche sport. Like boxing is more like for diehards and people who understand. So back when boxing was on cable and you subscribed to HBO, you used to be able to see all those fights, right? The reason why the move to Amazon from Al Heyman is good to me is take a look at like DAZN, for example. DAZN is a small app that was created from scratch and ended up losing so much money. Al Heyman joining Amazon Prime, he's a small piece of what Prime has to offer. He's a small piece of their corporation. And again, it's not like Prime is relying on Al Heyman for their success, where I feel like Showtime allocated a certain number of their budget to putting on fights every month, and those fights weren't producing the numbers. With Amazon Prime, it's more like they'll have more control over, say, they don't feel the pressure to put out fights. Remember, we were just talking about how Shakur Stevenson was fighting on certain cards that weren't doing well, although it was ESPN. Or say Jerome Boots Ennis was fighting on certain cards and he was headlining, but it wasn't doing well. With Amazon Prime, it's more like you would only put out pay-per-view events or big events, and people would pay, and then those guys would fight on the undercard. So I think it would increase the quality of the card. So what I'm saying, for example, is Jerome Boots Ennis won't be headlining; he'd be like co-main, right? Whereas you see like David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. I think this is kind of this is like the plot. This is the audition for Amazon Prime. Like, this is the type of fights we want to put on for you. And so I think the cards will be different and more worth the money in the beginning. So I think that's the shift. So what you all are talking about, where you're saying like they were paying people too much for fighting mediocre talent and we weren't seeing good fights, I think it's going to be forced to put on good fights on a platform like Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime, people are going to have to pay, and people are going to have to, and it's going to be different because they're strictly paying for boxing. Whereas for Showtime, when you order boxing on Showtime, you're paying for a whole bunch of things, not just the fight.
Hopefully they'll give us more fights.
That's what I'm saying. Well, think about it. You pay $80 to watch a fight on Showtime. Showtime's taking that $80, but they're allocating that back towards their budget that puts on that has a television series, that shows a whole bunch of things. With Amazon Prime, if you put boxing on and you pay for PBC boxing, it's just PBC boxing, and Amazon's going to get their cut off the top, but Amazon's not forced to try to do things the way that Showtime does it. So I think it makes it different. It'll make it better, but we'll see.
All right, true, man.
Are we done?
Yeah, man. Send us home, man. Send us home.
This is it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for rocking with us, man, and attending this live, man. We really appreciate you, man. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out on our podcast on all major streaming services. That's Conspiracy G. That's Caden. Ukrainian TBE. I got our cousin in here, Complex. You already know how we rocking. It's the commissioner, Trill Dollar Bill. I appreciate y'all from the heart. We the Boxing Bros.